Welcome back. We are back in the story of us. So,
We find ourselves standing outside of a tavern.
nope, not that.
You have your green screen on. I didn't know if you meant to have the green screen or if you wanted to have something in the back of it. It's up to you. I just letting you know.
Sure, we.
No, you don't have to. I just, in case you were trying to put something back there. Just
No,
letting you know.
it's fine.
No, the green's fine. Let's keep going.
Now it's a challenge, though.
And when we left off, the owl Wanda had lost track of the assassin, I believe.
You all had, and it was the next
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, we had a long rest. I thought we were having breakfast
Yes,
downstairs.
you guys were
That's
having
where we left off.
breakfast. Casimir asked you to go and provision supplies, anything that you thought that you were going to need for treks up into the mountains. He said that he had some cold weather gear, but he didn't have anything else. He was relying entirely on your skill with travel.
Well, he was giving us 200 gold, right?
No, he gave you 100 gold.
Oh, 100 gold, excuse me. 100 gold to go and get potions is what we decided we were going to do. Okay. So
We decided that we're all set for hardware and delving stuff.
I think Demetari said she needed paper, but other than that, I think,
And,
yeah, we were
and a
good.
shovel.
I thought Snow had a shovel.
I may have a shovel.
Yeah, I would like parchment, and then I sent in the group chat that I'll need something for a spell, but that'll be coming out of my own pocket.
Okay. So I vote Onyx, excuse me, goes and gets the potions because he's the most charming. And maybe someone not with a negative go with him.
I do have a shovel.
Am I taking all of the gold? All of the 100 gold?
Yeah, because I think we should take the 100 gold and go and get as many potions as we can. I mean, I could go with you. I just want somebody who doesn't have a negative modifier to go with you.
I'll do it.
Do you check your modifier?
I have a +1.
The kitty's on the
Yeah.
prowl to go get potions?
Well, I don't know. Snow has a -1 in charisma. I don't think Snow should go. No.
Briar, are you not charismatic?
I'm at a solid 0.
Oof, what a team. I didn't realize we were all, super antisocial.
I vote, but Demetari and Onyx go and get the potions because we have +2 and +1, and that's the most charismatic in our party.
I can do that.
Yeah, so why don't we have everybody else stays with Casimir just to make sure no one decides to stab him while we're gone, and then Onyx and Demetari go and get the potions and parchment because I think everybody else is good, right?
Yep.
All right, I'll stay with those of you. And where should we meet afterwards? I figure, spend an hour or two getting these supplies, and then we'll head off, I think.
I mean, we can stay here and they can come back here. We can enjoy breakfast, learn more about you.
No, I think I'd like to head off.
Casimir, you really need to wait for our team to assemble. We are sending some out to get supplies, and they will bring the supplies back here.
I suppose, but when do we, get on this quest and do all those things and whatnot?
Soon, very, very soon. I mean, we've already lost a day. What's another half day?
We haven't lost a day. Today was the first day.
It should take a few hours, then we'll leave.
Very well. He heads to just go sit in one of the chairs in the downstairs area, kind of by the fire, and just sit in a corner and read. Pulls out a little book.
Hey, Snow, you want me to take some of those spearheads, see if I can't offload them at an armor while I'm out?
Sounds good. I really don't have a use for them.
Okay. As Dimitar and I both leave, the first stop that I want to try to find is an armor or a weaponsmith.
Okay. Where are the rest of you guys going? Are all of you going to try to find people to sell things?
I was gonna stay at the tavern with Casimir and make sure he doesn't get stabbed.
Yeah, there are assassins about. I think I'll hang
I'm
out
gonna do
too.
the same.
Javid's going to patrol outside
Okay.
and maybe spend a little time looking to see how the assassin got there, since where he went proved unfruitful.
Though I would like to run over to the Fletcher and get the 4 arrows that I've lost.
If you want to roll, you could try to recover the arrows already.
I don't know, I lost a couple at the airship.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's a little too far ago. Whenever you shoot arrows, you can, after a fight, roll to try to recover them.
Word.
That reminds me, we should get some more arrows.
I'm going to the armor anyway. I'll see if I can't pick up some.
Yeah.
All right. So Javid is patrolling outside, and Azriel and Briar are staying with Casimir, and Demetari is going to... she's procuring things for spells, I believe.
Yeah, Dimitar and Onyx are going to go together for shopping stuff.
Okay. And Snow is also going shopping. All right. Can I get those of you who are doing shopping to give me just either a persuasion check to talk to local people and figure out where you're going, or probably a perception check. Your choice.
Yeah, starting off right.
We're just gonna get all the bad rolls out now.
Sure. All right, so you guys depart the tavern. It is a sunny midday. You guys kind of had to stay up late to finish your attacks with the assassin and all the other stuff, so it's pretty much midday at this point. Sun is shining through the trees far above you, and you can see a little bit better now that it's daylight in the town of Northend. That it's, this little kind of quaint little village, a bunch of these like multi-story homes constructed around the base of the big ash trees. There's people kind of pushing carts here and there. As you guys are trying to figure out where they're going, you kind of not quite sure. The signage isn't very good in town. Most of them are pointing you south. But after about half an hour or so, through sheer luck, pretty much, you guys stumble upon a location sort of central to town. It is the marketplace, essentially. And there's the sounds of people and bustling and like chickens in cages and other people hawking their wares. A lot of fishermen. The market like runs next to the river. So you can kind of like look out over the water to the far side and like more of the trees that like grow up in that direction. And on the water you can see like little fishermen casting out their lines. In town, you guys do spot, you can kind of hear the clang, clang, and the tsh of an arm. Approaching the establishment, you can see that there's a group of them. There's about 3 or 4 metalsmiths in there who are working on some project. One of them appears to be kind of fiddling with some horseshoes. On the wall, you can see there's a few like finished items, a few swords, a couple spearheads.
I'm gonna flag one of them down.
One of them comes over. He's kind of young, you know, fairly muscular from a guy who smashes metal all day and runs the forges and stuff. He like wipes off a little bit of the grease off of his arms. What can I do for you?
I've got 2 regular spears and 6 spearheads, and I was wondering what I could get for them.
I suppose we could take a look at them. Mind if I inspect them a little bit?
Sure, go for it. I hand over the 2 spears that I got.
He kind of starts turning one over and is investigating them a little bit. He's like, "Oh, these are good make. Where'd you get these?"
Found them in the woods.
Make a deception check.
I'm not lying. We did get them in the woods.
You are lying by omission. Make a deception.
$14.
Okay. Lucky find, I suppose. These are pretty good. I haven't seen any use. They look fresh. I'll buy both of them off you for 1 gold.
And the 6 spearheads with it?
I'll take those for another gold piece.
Why don't we do 1 gold, 5 silver, and 40 arrows?
Are you selling me 40 arrows?
No, I want 40 arrows.
So you... no. I'll say... 1 gold... and, we'll call it straight for the arrowheads, and I'll give you 40 arrows.
Alright, 1 gold and then 40 arrows.
Sounds good. And he kind of heads over, and they start, you know, pulling out some arrows. They've got a big barrel of them, and he kind of wheels it over to you. As he's doing it, he kind of gestures to one of the other smiths. You see it's like an apprentice who comes over and kind of like takes the spears off you and is like setting them down. And he slides a gold piece across the table towards you and kind of gives you over the air.
Alright, I toss Snow the arrows. And say half of these are for Javid. He knows some too. He needed some too.
Sounds good. See you guys back at the tavern.
Alright, we'll see. And then look at the guy I was talking to and say, do you know where the apothecary's at in this town?
Aye, there's one kind of across the way. And he kind of gestures across, and you can see there's like a little kind of like central pagoda of sorts, where there's some people gathered around it, listening to someone tell a story, and across the way you do see what a sign with like dangling from around it. There's a symbol, obviously representing some kind of magical vial, and then a few like dried herbs and other things hanging from the sign.
Alright. I'm gonna... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Being pretty bored in the armory, I'm headed straight over once he says that.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna head over too.
Alright, you head over and kind of like opening the door, it's a little ding of the bell, and inside it appears to be an herbalist. And this kind of like older, heavy set woman is sitting there, and she like hands over a little leather pouch to a young woman, and she kind of heads out with you as you pass. The woman says, welcome, how may I help you?
Yeah, I was looking for a few things actually. Didn't happen to know if I see that you have herbs, but do you carry any incense or charcoal as well?
We do. We feel much of the need for the travelers through Northend of those sorts of things. You strike me as adventuring types, and I'm afraid I don't carry much in the way of potions and the like of that. I have things that can perform some sort of facsimile of the sort, but I don't have much in the way of it. Apologies.
I understand. I'd love to buy the wares you do have, but is there anyone in town that does sell those types of potions?
I can provide you with certain herbs and other things that might pass for it, but that's about it. You'd have to go to some of the larger cities. I hear there's an alchemist in Toravir Deep who is quite well renowned amongst the people who live there, but I have not been myself.
Do you have anything that'll help stop our friends from dying if that so be the case?
Oh yes, I do have things like that. We have our own issues here in Northend, and I get a lot of business, unfortunately. How much... What exactly would you like? Because in terms of such things, I can provide you a few of them. It won't... It'll function well enough, I suppose. So she is offering, specifically mechanically, she can sell you the alchemical supplies to craft a potion of healing.
Okay, but she doesn't have anything that'll like stabilize people, like free herbs to like like blood clot to like stabilize someone on the ground.
She could sell you something like that would be consumed on use for pretty cheap, probably 5 silver, and it would give you advantage on medicine checks to stabilize someone.
Are you talking about a healer's kit?
It would. I'm pretty sure it would function like a healer's kit. I gotta check on what the price is.
Yeah,
It would be cheaper than a healer's kit.
Azrael has a healer's kit, just so you know.
Yeah, so it would be 5 silver, but it would be consumed on use, and it would just gives you advantage on stabilizing someone.
All right, let me get 6 gold worth of that blood clot. Basically, the stabilization stuff.
Got it. All right, she's able to sell that to you.
How many is that?
That would be 12.
I look at Dimitari. Do you think Azrael is gonna have too much of a problem if I get components to make potion?
Well, considering we can't buy any, I think this is our best chance, best option.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the lady and say, let me get 25 gold worth of the components to make potions of healing.
Unfortunately, that would only get you 1. It's a bit difficult to acquire all of the pieces.
I understand. I just want enough to make one for right now.
Very well. And she hands it over to you, and it's, a little pouch, and inside of it, it's bound up all of the various things and kind of like smaller bundles. Do you know what to do with this?
Yeah, I know what I'm looking at. Where do you normally get these? Do you normally get them shipped in, or do you find them out in the local areas?
Oh, I have this one specifically. I have shipped in. I know of a few rangers who travel out into the Windless Wood who acquire these things for me.
Okay. Is there any way that you could reach out to the alchemists in Torvir Deep, see if they couldn't ship in a couple of potions in case we come back through here?
I could do that. If you left a deposit, I could make sure that they were here for you. The turnaround might be a few weeks, but yes, I could do that.
What kind of deposit are you looking for?
I would say half the price, so another 25 gold. I could make sure you had one of them waiting here for you. I am capable of constructing one. It might take around the same amount of time. If you just wanted to pay the 50 gold, then I would be absolutely certain that there was one.
I can give you. How about I give you half up front? I'll give you 25 to craft the potion, and we'll pay you when we get back.
Very well.
Just a note. We're only 4 days from Tovar Deep, and we don't know we're coming back here.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I would know how far Torvir Deep was.
Yeah, you would. It's pretty close.
Okay, yeah. So I'm also a little nervous about paying this up front because we really don't know if we're going to be back here. So I think the best bet, because I'm not quite sure which way we're going to be going, but it might be better to just wait till we can get to a bigger city for now, just because we don't have the whole party here to drop that much gold for something that may not be a for sure thing.
All right. Sorry, I guess I'll take the 25 gold worth of components, and if we have time, I'll make it myself.
Very well. Here you go. She's already handed it over to you.
And I was looking to get some parchment as well.
Absolutely. I do carry some of that. She's, how much would you like?
I would say maybe 10 sheets. I would consider myself a novice at trying to learn some cartography skills, so.
Very well. 10 sheets here. She kind of goes into the, one corner and, lifts some stuff up and pulls out the sheets and sets them out on the table. What else can I do for you? You said you wanted charcoal and some other things. Just give me a moment. She kind of shuffles around a few things and produces another small little sack bound up, and inside of it you can see little black lumps of charcoal.
Okay, I do need about 10 gold worth of all of that, so.
This should be about enough.
Okay.
She's kind of producing it all for you.
How much is the parchment?
What are you trying to use it for specifically? Is it for anything that requires a value?
No, I'm just trying to learn how to draw maps.
The parchment. This is well crafted. Might run you about 5 silver.
Okay, and I'll look at Onyx to give her that, as I'm pulling 10 of my own gold out for the incense and things.
Anything else for you?
I think that'll do it. Thank you for your time.
Have a good trip. I assume you're off somewhere adventuring. Good luck.
Oh, and we didn't catch your name.
My name is Deltheris, and this is my herbalists.
Well, very nice meeting you, Deltheris. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Oh, I would very much wish that.
Just aside. So how much were the blood clots in total?
6 gold. We have 69 gold remaining out of the 100.
Okay, thank you.
Nice.
Nice.
Not that it was calculated or coordinated or anything.
All right. Javid, can I get a perception check from you? The ground is actually. What are you looking for exactly? So, are you looking for like tracks up to the building, or are you trying to figure out like where he got onto the roof, or what are you looking for specifically?
Both, actually. I would first look for tracks similar to the ones that I tracked out of town, indicating which direction the assassin came in from, and then actually not so much how the assassin got up on the roof, because I assume that's tricks of the trade for sneaky assassin types, and not really critical.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival check to figure out how he got on the roof. All right. The ground is still muddy along all of the paths. It's sunny now, and it's kind of starting to solidify a little bit, but it's a chilly fall day. It's really tough to say like what tracks belong to what individual. It's almost impossible. There's all kinds of them as you like skirt the border of it. You can find a few spots where like you can tell someone has come outside and then walked around the tree. You can find a few other locations where someone might have walked here last night at some point. But none of them are super obvious that this is how someone approached in like a clandestine type and inconspicuous way to get up there.
Now, would I if I saw them, be able to distinguish the assassin's footprints from?
No. It's normal-sized feet, humanoid, roughly. Their soles didn't have any like unusual track marks. As far as you know, it was just some kind of bipedal creature, just like everybody else, pretty much.
Ed, one more thing I just remembered I wanted to do. I walked back into the apothecary and asked her if she has any like map paper, like specifically map-sized paper, not just normal parchment.
Sorry, I don't typically carry anything quite like that.
Do you know who would
There's
around here?
Scriveners, but welcome to try with them.
Okay.
I-
Go ahead.
No, you can finish.
I'm gonna go up to Dimitar and be like, I got one more thing I want to do. I don't know if you want to head back or what have you, but I gotta go get something real quick.
Actually, there is something I did forget as well, and I turned back to the shopkeep. So I have a couple friends that one really likes to cook, and the other loves spice. Do you happen to carry anything like that?
Oh, I certainly do. Here, try some of these. And she starts pulling out these like little like orange and red peppers from like one of the drawers. She's like, careful handling them. Don't touch your face afterwards. You can have these four. She gives you four of these, like large, little like thin peppers. You can just have them. These are on the house.
Oh, how gracious of you. Do you have any like seasonings that might spice up some food?
Don't necessarily have anything quite like that, unfortunately. If you take these and remove the seeds and grind them up, they definitely add a fair bit of flavor to things.
Okay, well thank you very much. That was so awesome.
Have a good day.
You as well, and we'll leave for good this time.
So while she was talking, I went ahead and jetted. Like, I'm trying to get out of here without Demetari.
All right. As soon as you leave Demeter, you step outside and Onyx is not there. Somebody kind of like walks in front of you. Excuse me. And it's, there's a big old crowd in the marketplace and not there to be found.
Okay, is the person that is like singing still in the market?
There wasn't anybody singing. There is a fellow kind of in the middle on a pedestal who's like, kind of like, as you guys walk past, seems to be like telling some kind of a story, basically.
Well, I trust that he's gonna come back. So for now, I'm just going to listen.
All right, I'm going to the Scriveners, and I'm trying to buy 3 map-sized pieces of parchment, but they're blank.
Okay. All right. The Scriveners is another kind of similar establishment here on the market. The market's kind of this big, like, semicircle pointed out towards the wide river, and you kind of go to a point on the other far side, close to where the blacksmith. They do have some large, like 3 foot by 2 foot, like big rolls of parchment, but they are not cheap.
How much is one of them?
One of them is going to run you about a silver.
Yeah, I want 3 of them.
All right. It is 3 silver.
Okay, I'm gonna exit the Scriveners. I'm gonna roll them up as they're like being used, and then I'm going to immediately spike them into the mud and dirty them up on the outside, and then lash them together on my back.
Okay.
Like you can like see the scrolls, but they look. Basically what I'm trying to do is make them look like they're not brand new, like they've been used.
Okay, just give me a dexterity check.
I would love for the person to have just sold him that to be able to witness this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not hiding it.
You walk right out the door, just spike them into the mud, and just like kind of like roll them up, pick them back up, and like slide the mud off, so they look used and dirty and a little worn. And like you can hear from inside, what the hell? The Scriveners are like through like the glass panes, you can see like 2 of them are pointing at you. But they look, worn and authentic, rolled up scrolls. Otherwise, on the inside, still in good condition.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put them on in my pack, but like sticking out, like they're pretty obvious. And then as I walk back through the marketplace, I'm gonna watch for anybody clocking what's poking out of my shoulders.
All right. Go ahead and give me a perception check for that. All right. Briar and Azrael in the establishment. Casimir's there, he's reading his book quietly by himself, and then he just kind of, almost like slams it shut. He's like, well, this has probably been about enough time. We've been sitting here for maybe an hour or so, an hour and a half. I would love to see a little bit more of the city, so would you two care to join me? Oh, no, I couldn't terribly. I'm here seeing so much of the world. You two are here to protect me. We'll be fine. I'll even let you hold on to the maps, since that seemed like a good idea last night.
I should still have them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also a little stir crazy. Can we go, please?
Safer here.
The little one, that's a 2-for-1 vote. I think we will head out. And he kind of stands up and like lifts his backpack
I will push
up.
him back into the chair.
Okay. Give me a athletics check. Unfortunately, he rolled a nat 20.
Well, so did I.
But his nat 20 is a +2 modifier. That -1 is really getting you on this one. As you kind of like go, he just kind of like whoop, out of the way, and you like grab him, and he just kind of like ducks under you really quick, and is like bobbing towards the door, and then he puts like Briar between the two. He's like, I think this is our sign. We should head out. Hurry up, Azrael. I assume you've grabbed all your stuff.
I'm not gonna let him get out of it.
He's kind of like moving quickly through the door. He's like, quickly, Briar, let's go.
If I can do this, come on.
Can I like try to like kind of parkour around the wall and like jump in front of him and like just physically be in front of the door and be like, we're staying.
Sure, give me an acrobatics check.
And that's when Snow opens the door.
Alright, yeah, you're able to just like slide over one table, just like somebody's like lifting up their drink and you just like barely dodge it. He's like, hey! And you get in front of the door. Casimir's
I have
there.
the manacles. Can I like put one on him and then the other on like a radiator or something like that?
You can certainly try. As you like stop in front of them, he says, Briar, quick, there's a back door. We'll go that way. And the door behind you opens and Snow is standing in the doorway.
What's going on in here?
She's gone crazy. She's trying to take prisoners or something. Quick, let's go to the market.
They're trying to leave. We should stay.
Drinks are on me at the market if we all go.
Oh, I just came from the market. The ale is better here.
I'd like to find out for myself.
Oh.
Yeah, I really do want to try to attempt to put the manacles on him and the other half on a radiator.
Why is this happening? We just want a breath of air. Oh my god.
Just want to be free.
Breathe, didn't you?
I hired you to be my bodyguards, not to hold me prisoner.
And what exactly do you think happened last night?
Well, you saved my life and all that, which I'm very much appreciative for, and I trust in your skills to do it again at the market.
You are aware that he got away, right?
Yes, and that's why I said, I trust you to do it again and at the market. He would never be so brazen to attack in broad daylight. We should be all set.
You're an idiot.
And we'll be with him. Come on. Fine.
In fact, the rest of them are there. Couldn't be safer. We'll grab Javid on the way. We'll all go have some lunch.
No.
All right.
Why do you want to sit in this stuffy hotel so bad?
It's safe.
Yes, safe
Just gonna
and
grump.
isn't fun, Go ahead and give me an...
Would it be acrobatics to like try to put them on him?
It'll be athletics because you kind of have to... You're basically trying to grapple him so that you can apply the manacles to him.
I mean, I feel like it's acrobatics because I'm like trying to like sneak them on him. I'm not trying to brute force. I'm trying to be like because they're not hard to put on. It's just you have to get them to his arm.
I mean, he's squirrely. You kind of have to like grab him and hold him down in order to...
I don't feel like I have to hold him down. I feel like I just need to like be kind of flexible and able to snap them on him.
If we go to the market, I'm carrying the maps. We'll not leave them unattended.
Demetari has the
I
maps.
have the maps.
Oh, she does. On her. Oh. Well, then we should go to the market and protect the maps.
See, exactly.
Yes, agreed. Let's do this.
I do think it would still be an athletics check to try to get the manacles on.
$11.
He rolled a 12. That -1 is really getting you.
I know, I'm not very strong. I'm flexible, not strong.
Alright. He's like, kind of like ducks out of the way really quick and is like going for the door. He's like, quick, Snow, defend me. At the market. Beers are on me.
I just shrug and follow him out.
Alright. As soon as he like gets through the door, he's like, Javid, quick, to the market. And he's just like shouting it.
I'm gonna keep chasing him and like try to like kind of like just tackle him at this point.
He is just like, he's like hoofing it.
Alright, well, I'll follow him.
What's your constitution modifier? Just so I'm curious.
So my constitution's 14, so the modifier is +2.
Okay. His con is not quite that high. Javid, as you're there kind of like investigating and checking things around the house, you suddenly hear, Javid, quick to the market!
All right. So I will stop my patrol around the tavern and double time over to where it looks like we've got an expedition to the market. I'm going to fall in at the 4 and keep an eye out for assassins and other ne'er-do-wells who might mean Casimir harm.
As we're chasing after him, I'm gonna just shove half of the arrows into his arms. And like, here you go.
Can I take my rope and try to make it into like, you know how you like lasso like a pig?
You can, yes, you can definitely try.
I want to try that.
Okay. Go ahead and just give me a sleight of hand check. Alright. So, you are, like, trying to run behind him, and you're able to keep up, because you are technically faster than him. But it is, like, you're trying to, like, hastily tie this knot and, like, get it kind of in a position to kind of, like, wrangle him. And he is strategically kind of, like, trying to get Javid and, like, the rest of them, like, putting them between you so that you can't get at him. And, you know, playing, like, keep away almost.
Azrael, you're making quite a show. Why don't we try to keep a lower profile?
That's what I'm doing.
Javid's making a good point. You are not.
This is all
If we had never left the tavern, we would have a very low profile.
right. But now you've left the tavern,
And now you've drawn attention.
Quick, everyone, keep running. There's beers and food at the other end of this.
I'm gonna swing back by the apothecary to see if Demetari is still there, and then I'm gonna head back to the tavern, like keeping an eye out too. I rolled a 15 on the perception.
All right, you kind of swing around to the far side, approaching the apothecary. You don't see through the windows, but amongst the crowd, standing there listening to a fellow, you spot Demetari kind of standing there underneath him. As you approach, you can hear that he is apparently regaling them with tales of adventure and daring do by various adventurers far to the north and west.
Weird, Anox, how I was totally willing to follow you back in there, and once I had some shopping to do, you disappeared.
I told you I was going, but I came back. Everything's fine.
Do you want to tell me what you so desperately needed to get?
No.
Do I notice that he has maps now in his backpack that he didn't have before?
Definitely. They're very obvious. Intentionally so, I believe, is what you said.
I lean around him because I'm assuming he's much more massive than me. And very pointedly look at the maps and go, yeah, okay.
Back to the tavern then and find the rest of the people so we can get going.
How closely
Alright, let's
do Onox's maps resemble Demetari's?
I don't think. Oh,
I would say from you guys saw the maps that Dimitari took from Casimir last night. His are dirtier. His are much dirtier because Casimir's maps have been, in his possession within a scroll case for years at this point, probably. So they are pretty good condition.
And Onox's are freshly muddied?
Freshly muddied. I mean, he did a good job of cleaning them off, so they would still be usable. You could still put a map on them if you really wanted to. But yeah, they don't. They look like dirty maps that someone tossed in the mud, basically. Someone's been using the maps that Onyx has.
I was under the impression that mine weren't that visible. Is that possible?
Yeah, yours would be able to fit securely within your bag. So if you have a backpack, then they're hidden.
Okay, alright, yeah, I have a backpack.
All right. At this point, you guys kind of come around a house, close over the hill, and you can see the market in front of you. And Casimir's, he kind of slows down a little bit. He's breathing heavily. He's, see, we made it. We're safe so far. I've gotten all of you. I only need to get the other two, and then we'll grab a meal and then head off towards the mountains.
We already ate. We'll leave.
No, I had a snack, 2 hours ago. I just ran, I'm ready for some more. I'm curious to see a little bit of the town. I've never been this far east, or west, I should say.
She just kind of stares at him, very intently, in that, kind of creepy, just stares at him.
I find that terribly off-putting, but we shall continue. Excellent hires so far. I remain living. Follow me, everyone. And he just kind of starts bopping down towards the market. As they're kind of coming down into the opening, Onyx and Dimitari, you kind of see the rest of the party approaching.
Oh, we were just coming to find you. Headed back to the marketplace?
Casimir wanted to eat before we hit the road.
Had to stretch my legs and all that.
All right. And he's quite insistent that we do that. So I suggest we stay tight, keep him in the middle of us, and an eye out for flying daggers of psychic damage, and wrap up our business and get out of town as soon as we can.
Indeed. You all keep an eye out for, assassins and whatnot. I will keep an eye out for some sandwiches and drinks.
I hand Casimir this pouch with 69 gold in it.
That is, I'm considering that part of per diem for you. You're welcome to keep it.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Because, if you give it back to me, then the next time I'll only give you 31 gold, so...
So I turn around and hand it to Azriel and say, party fund? Question mark?
Party fun. Did you acquire healing potions?
No, they don't make those here. The closest place they make them is Torbeard Deep, but I did get components for me to make one, but that's basically all they had. Oh, and I got this, and I hand everybody 2 uses of the powder. I say these'll help keep someone alive if they decide to go down.
and guess what I got? And I pull out the peppers.
No, she just kind of you see a smile crack. Those are good.
So this is what I was thinking. Maybe you use the seeds because they're the spiciest part, right? And then Briar, the shopkeep told me what I could do in order to make this a nice little seasoning for your food.
Ooh, thank you.
And then I'll turn to Casimir and say, also got parchment, so no backing out on you teaching me how to make those beautiful maps of yours.
Absolutely, absolutely. I plan on, we will certainly take some time. We might be a little slow going on our travels, but we will stop and record everything that we locate.
Well, I hope to be a quick learner.
And if we locate sandwiches, I'll have corned beef.
Excellent. And as you guys are walking, so anyone who's keeping an eye out, can I get you guys to give me some perception checks? All right. So to varying degrees of care, you guys are kind of scanning the crowd. You get a pretty good idea of who's here and what they're up to, and for the most part, from what you guys can tell, it's just a bunch of locals and villagers, occasional traveling folk. There's a few guards kind of here or there. They're just guys in like leather armor, leaning on a spear, just kind of talking to each other. There aren't many of them. It's just a quiet little kind of town village, pretty much. Casimir steps up to one of the establishments that is selling little sandwiches. And any other requests for anything? We've got, was it a corned beef? What would the rest of you like? Azrael, anything?
Continue to just stare at him in a very angry, creepy stare.
All right.
Steak and cheese.
Steak and cheese. That sounds good. I think I'll have the
Same.
same. All right, 3 steaks and cheeses. Briar, anything? You're not a vegan, are you? I swear that's a thing.
Oh, no. No. One for me, too.
All right, what's that? 4 steaks and cheeses. And Demetari?
I'd say anything with a good crunch.
All right, crunch. I'll get you some. Any
Steak and cheese with onions? That has a crunch.
Oh, it's got a crunch. And he heads
Chicken fried
inside
steak.
to kind of not really inside. It's just kind of an open window, and he kind of starts placing an order for you guys. Demetari and Javid. As you guys are kind of scanning the horizon, the crowd, the trunks of the trees above you guys, there's probably about 3 of them at the 45, the 90, and the 135 degree position relative to the river. You guys can see across about 50 yards from the shore, there is this like little island over there, and there's a few kids playing on it.
Do they look like they're playing anything in particular?
They're just kind of like climbing up onto it and then jumping into the water. There's some of their friends appear to be on a boat next to them.
My, doesn't that look fun?
Yeah, they look like they're having a good time. And I'll resume scanning the crowd and surroundings.
All right. A couple minutes later, Casimir kind of from the window collects all the steak and cheese and onions and corned beef, and he hands one to pretty much each one of you. And he's also collecting from the window. He collects these little cups of ale and hands them out to you. All right, see, told you it was on me. There's kind of a late lunch for everyone. Eat up, drink well, all that stuff. We'll get cracking. It's a good day to walk out up into the mountains and that whatnot.
I'm gonna take my sandwich and go sit next to where those kids are, trying to figure out what this game is.
They're 50 yards from shore, so you can see them from the water line, but they're not close.
Okay, well, I'm still gonna watch him.
Okay.
I am going to send Wanda over there to basically engage and play and like splash around a little bit, like splash water on him and fly away and go back.
All right. As you guys are doing this, Casimir kind of follows you over to the edge of the water and sits down on a bench and just kind of is eating his sandwich and finishing off of his little cup of ale. You're just not watching through the Wanda's eyes, you're just sending Wanda over there?
Yeah, no, I'm not watching through her eyes.
Okay. Alright. You guys kind of about to finish your sandwiches off. You suddenly notice that the kids kind of like, all of them jump off of the little island and start swimming as fast as they can over to the little boat.
As soon as Wanda gets over there?
Maybe it's a couple minutes after that. Like Wanda goes over there and is able to play with them for a minute, and they kind of splash water back on Wanda. But as soon as you guys are kind of finishing your sandwiches, so it's been a little bit, they are swimming back to their boat as fast as they can.
Can I look and see if I see anything in the water?
The 20 perception check. What you can see, and those of you who are a little bit more eagle-eyed, so Azrael, Javi, Demetari, and Snow, it looks like there are ripples coming off from the island.
I'm gonna ask Wanda if she's seen anything.
Is Wanda... Wanda doesn't speak any languages.
We telepathically speak to each other as long as she's within 100 yards, I believe. 100 feet, not yards.
So there are ripples emanating from the island.
And they're forming a V pointed towards shore.
It's just like a little ring around the island.
So the island itself is giving off the ripples.
Correct. Wanda is able to communicate to you that the island appears to be moving. There's little bubbles that start to come up around the edge of it.
Well, guys, Wanda seems to believe that the island is moving.
We should leave.
Yep, that makes me nervous. Let's leave.
Yeah,
Well,
we
do the
should go.
kids seem like they're gonna get to their boat safely?
They are like hurriedly rowing back to shore, and you guys see the island starts moving towards shore.
Does that sound familiar to me? Like, does this make sense to me? Like, would I know anything like this?
Or me.
Let me check something actually.
Okay.
What are you checking? We can help you.
No. This might be semi-familiar to somebody. I will say that Onyx. So can I get all of you to give me history checks? And then I'll say Onyx, you can do it with advantage. Okay. as the island starts to move closer and it's like rising out of the water, Azrael, Demeter, Onyx, and Javi, you guys recognize that this is not an island. It is actually one of the ancient war machines left behind the Colossuses, scattered across the landscape. As you guys are watching this as well, like a bunch of villagers have suddenly begun to gather by the water. And they're kind of like hurriedly talking to each other and like nervously pointing. And like, if like...
I will shout out to get everybody's attention. It's a war machine. Get away from it. Everybody, get away as far as you can.
So, do we know how dangerous this is? As in, like, it can get up out of the water and walk onto the land?
I'll say that you and Javid probably have heard tales of how like these things were once numerous, exceptionally dangerous. Like, pretty much nothing could stand in their way except for another one of these creatures. They were designed to kill dragons, pretty much. And it's like lumbering towards shore. What you guys can see is it's not walking directly at you guys. It's kind of walking in what would be more of a heading more east from you guys. So it's like going to like hit the eastern edge of like the semicircle of the market. Headed towards what would be more like Torvir Deep and Phycaron and those other locations further that direction.
And that's, so it's going east, right? To leave town, we would go
You guys
west?
are going to go north. Pretty much
North,
due north.
okay. Okay.
I want us to
I
move
am
in a
trying-
direction away from it. I'm going to grab Casimir and say, "Oop, time to go," and start pulling it with me as fast as his little legs will go west, as far away from the direction that the machine's going.
We need to go north, though.
We need to get away from this thing.
We should go northwest.
Meanwhile,
We
I
should
have no
put as
idea
much
what that is. And I'm gonna go
Distance
look
from
at it.
ourselves and that. I think due away from it is our best course of action, and we can turn north when north presents itself.
As you guys are debating this, the thing is now like probably 3/4 of the way out of the water, and it just
Oh,
like...
we're moving. I thought we were moving at this point.
you guys are kind of like moving with the crowd. There's a whole bunch of people. They're starting to like shout and yell. It is most of the way out of the water. You can see it's these like big smooth plates of metal that are now like rusted over and like fused shut. It has this huge skirt of like green growth like dangling from it, pretty much, where it looks more like some kind of like giant moss monster, but like poking out from underneath it, you can see like, you know, jagged edges and other things, like the metal construction of the creature. Just as you guys get to the kind of like northwestern side of the village, you see it just like slams into the building on the most southern side and just is like trying to step through it. And then its like torso slams into the tree and just starts like ripping chunks out of it. And the tree starts to kind of like dangle towards the market. And there's like people running around all underneath it and then are freaking out.
Was it within 20 feet of me at any point?
No, I think you guys kept it clear long enough.
I'm gonna break away and try to get that close, but definitely not in its path.
Okay. So as you can see now, it is like at the tree trying to walk, but it is not making any attempt to like go around the tree. So it's kind of just pushing it down. And it's, you know, this massive like, you know, 100-foot tall, 10-foot diameter trunk that's like starting to collapse towards the marketplace. What are you guys doing? Like, other than just running?
I'm actually
I'm
gonna
trying
go
to
look at it
pull
too.
Casimir along with me as fast as we can go and get as far away from as possible from the war turtle.
Okay. As he's running, Casimir's kind of like pointing back towards the tree that's starting to like, you can see it's like cracking and like shredding at its base. Casimir's like, don't you think we should get some of the people out of the way of the tree? As he's like half running, looking backwards and.
So can I assist Jezavid in like? Can I like? So I can. I don't know if I'd have time to cast guidance or not, but I want to like kind of help him like pick up, like he can grab his arms, I can grab his feet, and we can just like run together.
Sure. You guys, if you guys want to give me athletics checks, one of you with advantage or both of you straight rolls to just pick up Casimir and keep running.
Javi, how's your athletics?
+2.
Yeah, I'm gonna help so he can get advantage.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys doing? So Demetari and Briar, you guys are getting close to the Colossus.
Yeah, when I get within 20 feet, I'm going to attempt to mind link with this creature.
Okay. What is that?
You can speak telepathically to any creature you can see within 20 feet. You don't need to share a language with the creature for it to understand, but the creature must be able to understand at least one language. And then as an action, when I'm speaking telepathically to it, it gives that creature the ability to speak back to me for the next hour or until I end the effect.
Alright. And Briar, you're just like getting close to look at it.
Oh yeah, this thing's crazy looking. I'm gonna go look at it. Slash, if I notice that there's a lot of people in the way, I'm probably gonna help.
Yeah, as soon as those two broke and went back towards it, I'm going back to like help start clearing people.
Okay. Alright, so Briar, can I get just a perception check from you just to kind of look at the creature a little bit more closely? And then on if you want to go ahead and give me a we'll say performance check to kind of like start corralling people and like getting them to like follow you out of the way of the tree.
Might be chasing after Onyx.
Okay, are you assisting him with that?
Yes.
Alright, if you want to go ahead and either Onyx can roll again, or you can just also roll a performance check.
Well, we both have a -1, right?
No, I have a +4.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna help him for sure.
The roll wasn't much better, homie.
It's okay. The crowd is in disarray and they're willing to look to anybody for help. The guards are just like staring up at it like spears, kind of like they're like following along behind it, like they want to attack it, but they really have no idea how to go about doing that.
So I'm not trying to get people to like outrun the length of it. I'm trying to direct them like perpendicular to it so they can like actually get out from under it.
Yeah, we're not playing what is it, the Alien movie. You're not trying to just like run along the length of it. Briar and Demetari, as you guys get closer to it, you can see it's these huge, like, kind of like underneath the rust and the like growing like plant matter. You can see it's this like bright shimmering metal on the spots that is unmarred. The creature has huge, like, oak tree sized arms and all manner of other things on it. You can see there's like spots where it has like eyes and a mouth. But Demetari, as you approach, this thing does not have a mind. It is incapable of communication or thought of any kind.
Bummer.
And in fact, okay, yeah. So you can tell that this thing does not understand any languages, and that it is not really a creature. It is More of a construct.
So what direction is the tree like leaning towards?
The tree is falling kind of like northwest, basically like across the length of the marketplace.
Okay, so it's not gonna hit like anything important like buildings or anything.
Oh, it's gonna hit buildings. Definitely. It is like
there
falling
any?
across the buildings into the market.
You said right now it's just leaning.
Correct.
Right?
But it is like you can see like little like splinters shoot out where like a little section of wood just like gives out and just like just falls a little bit more.
Oof.
How fast is it moving?
The Colossus is stuck. It is just like walking into the tree and kind of pushing it down.
I'm going to try to climb it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics or acrobatics check, your choice. Alright, you approach one of the feet as it like lifts up and then slams into the ground and like leap onto it, grabbing onto like this like slimy, muddy like sea grass that's kind of like grown onto it, and you just like grab a handful and then start kind of like pulling yourself up. It is very slimy and tough to climb.
Briar, could you fly up and help make sure I don't fall off this thing? I'm going to see if I can't obstruct its vision somehow.
Oh, sure. But I don't know that it can actually see anything anyway. It's not really veering one way or the other. But yeah, sure, let's do this.
You said it had eyes, right?
It has glowing. It has what would be considered a face, but it's just like two like glowing little lights in its face.
Okay, I'm going to assume it can see through those.
Okay, I know just about as much as you do. So let's do this.
So yeah, I'm gonna get to the head and let me know if I can and do get there.
All right.
Can I like kind of haphazardly drag her up it?
Yeah, you can. Just give me an athletics check. You can probably. You're so strong, you can probably just lift her up to the top.
Okay, let's go.
Thanks for the assist.
Azriel and Javid, the two of you just like you kind of like assist in like slinging Casimir onto Javid's shoulder, and like you're grabbing his legs, so he's just kind of like holding on like a little backpack as you're like running. The two of you like clear a couple of houses, and you guys can see now that you're pretty much a solid enough distance that the thing is far enough away that you can still see it, but not so close that you're at any more imminent danger.
All right. Well, as soon as we seem to be out of range of falling trees and buildings and stomping colossi, I'll stop and say, Azrael, we need to make sure that this wasn't a distraction. I feel for the people of the town, but we've got a priority.
Agreed. And Casimir's still on your back, right? Like we're not letting him down.
Yeah, he's just hanging on. He's like kind of like as you guys turn, he's kind of like looking over, just like watching everything transpire in the marketplace.
And can we see any of our party, or have they just like disappeared at this point?
Yeah, it's a big throng of people. It's hard to spot anyway. You guys are kind of you're close enough that you can still see the Colossus because it's massive, but the individuals in the crowd you can't really make them out. You might be able to spot like at the distance like a little fluttering speck as Briar like grabs Demetari by her shoulders and like up on top of the thing, and you guys are like at its face trying to figure out what's going on. Onyx and Snow, the two of you are like kind of like hey, shouting at the people, and like a group of about 10 or 15 of them kind of like stop in front of you, and they're like waiting for you to tell them where to go.
And scream right in their faces, "Why are you stopping? Go!"
And they all just like
point perpendicular to the tree, obviously.
They all start like clearing it out. You see, one of them is like in the house, like almost underneath the base of the tree as it's falling. There's like a little shop there, and he's like, "There's people trapped inside. Help!" And, like,
I'm running into it.
All right. Can I get you
Jesus.
to give me a athletics check?
How are they trapped? Is it like under stuff? Is it like behind closed doors that have shifted?
It is, as you kind of run inside and like up a few stairs, you can hear like pounding on a door, and there's a guy like trying to open it, and it seems like the house is like compressed slightly, where like the tree has started pushing it down, so the door no longer fits in its frame, and you like can't open it.
I'm gonna throw him to the side and cast Thunderclap
Okay.
at the door.
All right.
So I basically rub my hands together and then clap right in front of the door, and it just like loud, piercing boom noise.
All right. With that like explosion, the door kind of just like opens, you know, a few inches, enough to where like you think you could force it the rest of the way. There's like, you can hear a few people like, "Help us!" on the inside.
Yeah, this is Sparta. Kick that bitch in.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and give me an athletics check. I'll say with advantage because you've kind of, the door is pre-opened. All right. You just like plant the heel of your paw into it, and the door kind of like cracks open, and the two people behind it like step back a little bit, and then they just start like running out. And the guy kind of like turns. The one who was trying to open the door is like stood behind you. Is thank you, and he like runs out with that.
Yell, is there anyone else?
No, that's it. There's the only people in here.
I'm turning and burning.
Alright.
Is there if there's anything that I see on the way out that's like exceptionally valuable, I'm gonna like snag it for them. Like I'm not thinking of me. I'm like trying to get their shit out for them as I'm running out.
Okay.
Of course, of course.
Anything that's like there's a vase that might be important, and I like.
There's as you're heading out, there's like a nice painting on the wall. Basically, it appears to be someone like went to the far side of the river and painted the little marketplace. And
Yeah, I'm snagging that and bringing with it.
On the painting, you can see the little island in the middle of the river.
Alright, as we get clear of the building, I'm gonna hand it back to the guy and be like, I know it's a little awkward because it's got the island that's no longer there, but I saved it for you.
As you guys have kind of like moved to one side, out of the danger. Basically, he's thank you. This was painted by my grandfather. And he kind of tucks it under his arm.
You're welcome. Now get.
And keeps running. Briar and Demetari, the two of you are kind of like, you know, winds in front of like the face of the thing, and like the tree is like sliding into it and like pushing on it, and the mud and muck is just kind of sloughing off from it, and like where it's like abraded on the tree, you can see it's like revealed now, and you know, scraped most of some of the rust away a little bit, and you can see it's this, you know, like brilliant shiny metal. The eyes are just these like little green glowing like squares almost. There's no life behind them.
How thick is its neck?
It's got a thick neck. This thing is like built like a football player.
Does it look like it's like focusing? Is there any internal mechanics in there that are like shrinking, getting bigger, that it's trying to look any direction, or is it just for show?
Give me an insight check.
Can I do it too?
Yeah, go for it. All right. It's pretty easy to tell. You know, Demetari, this thing's a construct. It has, you know, there's no nothing there to give it away, but Briar, what you can tell is that it does have like a neck that can like rotate, but it is not. It is just like locked in like a forward position. It is not paying attention to anything. When you guys like flew in front of it, it didn't respond at all. Its arms are just kind of like pumping at its sides as it's just like, video game NPC just like walking into a wall doing nothing.
I'm pretty sure it's broken. Let's see if we can find a way to turn this thing off.
Agreed. Do we know anything about where the possible, I guess, like, part, like the source of power would be in this thing?
You can give me an Arcana check, and this would be very difficult. You do know that it has an internal like power cell that it uses, but as far as like an easy way to turn it off, you're not aware of one. You know that you're probably aware of these things' existence. There's a few of them kind of scattered across the landscape, and other portions of Marquette that have been stationary for almost a millennia at this point. That there's not really an easy way to deactivate them from the exterior. They're designed to like carry troops and then fight in combat. So they're tough little shells to crack, basically.
Do I know if there's a way to get inside it?
That, I will say you actually do specifically know that there is not an easy way to get inside of these things. You have probably heard that probably about 200 years ago, there were a bunch of wizards that were studying these things and tried to get into them. And there was, at the time, another Colossus that was in a well-known location and existed, and they set off some kind of self-destruct and destroyed it when they were trying to get it open. So you know that these things are essentially impenetrable. You could try to I guess what would you guys like to do?
Well, honestly, if there's a way that I can, I guess, get into the internal mechanism, even if I can just squeeze through something, or like,
Okay.
yeah. I'm going to basically be looking for this whole self-destruct feature. Do I know possibly if I've heard about this thing that got self-destruct?
Do we really want to set off a bomb in the middle of this town? Because it's the size of an island.
I was gonna ask, like, how big the bomb was?
Well, you would know, since you've heard of it, that all the wizards who were trying to get into it, they did not survive.
Do I know if it was like instantaneous, or did they have like a few seconds to like have an oh shit moment?
Pretty much this, as far as people know, is that the wizards were trying to get into it, and then the next thing people knew was there was a 500 square foot crater where it used to be.
Oh, okay.
These dudes were trying to
How
get.
big is Northend? Is it about 500 square feet?
No, that's relatively small, but it would be enough to take out like chunks of the buildings around it and just like level part of the town. Not the whole thing.
I wonder if we can try to figure out how to turn it. Because it's just walking in one direction. If we can figure out how to turn it, then we can just make it walk back into the water.
Okay.
How do? What?
You guys could try to, like, you're at its head, you could try to sit down on it and kind of try to work out how to maybe push it or do something else like that. How about give me an investigation check to see, just, for you guys to get a little bit of a closer look and try to see if you can figure out what is going on there.
Is
Oh,
everybody?
+7 for investigation and rolled an 8.
Yeah, as this thing is like moving, you guys kind of like getting close to it and are like picking at its neck, and you suddenly notice that its eyes go zzz, and power down, and the thing just like lurches forward a little bit and stops.
You think we hit a pressure plate or something?
I don't even know, man.
Does it like collapse or anything?
It's like kind of like, hunched over a little bit, still standing there, still pushing into the tree, and the tree is kind of like leaning a little bit more, but it appears to have stopped.
Like mid scream at people, I'm gonna stop and see that and look at Snow and be like, "Well, I guess we're good."
Yeah, I'm gonna look at Dimitar and be like,
Yeah.
"We did it! Ah!" And like pick her up and squeeze her and twirl and stuff.
A couple of the guards are down on the ground. They kind of point up at you. They stopped the Colossus.
Well, yeah, did we, Briar? I guess
Absolutely, yes. Taking credit for this.
I don't know if it'll turn back on. Wait, like, okay, could we possibly... You have an axe, right, Briar? While it's turned off, like, should we, like, try to smack it around a little and see if...
You
see
want
if
to
we can
turn
make
it
sure
back
it's dead,
on?
you know, like double tap is what I'm trying to say. Like, you just...
Shit, I don't think my axe is gonna cut this thing.
Okay, I mean, I'm nervous that it might just auto back on again, but I guess it's better than setting off a self-destruct. So if you don't mind helping me climb down.
Do I hear the guards yell? They stopped it.
Yeah, I think you hear like kind of like those adventurers. They stopped it. I think it's dead.
I look at Snow and I was like, "Do we make this worse?"
Ow.
I mean, we can kind of hype them up.
Seems like somebody owes us some free drinks.
I guess we could do that.
I immediately start like arms in the air, screaming, "Dimitar and Briar, saviors of Northend!"
All right.
Yeah!
Strike a heroic pose at the top of this thing.
Definitely give me some performance checks. So Javid, Azriel, and Casimir, you guys can see the Colossus stops.
So I definitely think this is like some type of distraction, and there are some assassins that are come out of the woods. So I am just like searching, like as in like for any signs that there is an assassin around.
All right. Go ahead and give me a perception check for that. So Onyx and Snow, you two like kind of start shouting and yelling, and people are like confused, still very frightened by what is happening, and are like not really sure what to make of that, and like you hear someone say, "Who? What?" That no one is like,
Those guys right there!
and they're all kind of more focused on the fact that just it is stopped. They're not really super trying to figure out why. They just care that it's off, basically.
Before we climb down, I want to look for any sort of loose bits of metal that I could possibly pry off.
Sure. Go ahead and I'll say you can give me another investigation check. Now that it's stopped moving. It is this like grimy, muck-covered thing, but most importantly, even centuries later, you can tell that this thing was like well constructed. The like mechanical tolerances for this machine are like so fine that in like some of the seams you wouldn't even be able to get like paper through it.
All right, Briar, I guess maybe we did something. Okay.
I mean, I'll take it.
I'm gonna notice that my shouting's not doing much, and I'm just gonna like shrug and start heading back towards where I know Azrael and Javid are.
All right.
While we're looking around and assessing the sort of I guess, end of the dramatic scene, I'm going to ask Casimir, you're an antiquarian. What do you know of these ancient machines?
I that would be a little bit out of my area of expertise. We did cover it a little bit at the institute and some of my courses, but from what I recall is that they were vehicles that some of the ancient civilization, specifically Thrain, used them to wage their war in the era of the Calamity. Unfortunately, there's not a lot that survive. No records for them. They
no information that you know of how to turn them on, turn them off, steer them, command them, that sort of thing.
Correct. I am afraid that all of that was lost to the ages. You could assume that they would have had pilots as long as, or drivers or something like that, keeping them steady and operating them. But unfortunately, beyond our knowledge of just general, devastation upon the battlefield, that's about all I've got.
And no idea why one would suddenly pick itself up out of the river after having been inert for centuries, if not a millennium.
No, but I am terribly intrigued by this. You don't mind setting me down for a bit? I'd like to write down what I've just witnessed.
No.
Okay, fine.
I think we can let him down. We don't have to run right this minute, and it might help to have our sword arms free if somebody pops up.
No.
Can I do one more final check to see if we actually did this?
Sure, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
I was thinking like perception check. Like, did I step on something?
Sure,
I'm
give me
sure
a
I'll help
perception.
you if you don't mind, Ruby.
Okay, go for it.
So if you want to roll with advantage, and that might work out better.
Okay. Let's see. This is not going well.
It's hard to say. Like, you guys have kind of like, as you're kind of sitting on its shoulders, trying to like get at it a little bit better. You can't really say like what's there. You've scraped a little bit away and are able to get a better view of it, but there weren't any buttons. You didn't, flip any switches or anything like that. It kind of just turned off, as far as you know.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take her and we're gonna get back down.
As you kind of flutter back down, there's like clapping from down below. You can see there's a group of guards who kind of sat down there and they're just shouting and like pumping their fists in the air and excellent work.
I'm gonna slowly lower and we're gonna do like a superhero landing.
All right, go ahead and give me some performance checks.
Okay.
I'll be graceful, but mostly blushing, because I'm not used to that sort of attention, and pulling my hood forward a bit.
Oh, I'm leaning in. Damn.
I'll say that you can do it with advantage. That people are here eating it up. Alright. You kind of like, they are like beyond sold by what this is, so it doesn't require a lot for them to feel to really buy in on it, and like you kind of do like this landing and like almost like flex a little bit, and like they start cheering more and like clapping, and out of this like kind of like crowd that approached, one like kind of like older fellow kind of steps out. He's wearing like long robes. He approaches and I must congratulate you, and I am Mayor Leoben here in town, and I had to thank our saviors. I saw the two of you stop this monster, this creature, and I extend to you the heartiest gratitude from the town of Northend.
Yes, that is what we did.
Yeah. That's what we did.
If I could have your names, please, of our two saviors.
My name's Dimitari.
I am Briar Amberwing.
Demetari and Briar Amberwing, we will be forever in your debt. I would like to extend you a invitation to my manor up upon the hill. If you would like to join me, the rest of the guards will set about inspecting the marketplace and ensuring that it is still safe for everyone else. And, you can tell us more about how you did it if you'd like.
Well, the thing is, we actually have somewhere to be. So, you can just write some songs. It'll be fine.
I would be remiss if I was to let you go without any form of kind of reward, compensation for such an act. Please, if you just give me a few moments, I will return with something I think quite fitting for the occasion.
That would be lovely. I actually did. You know what? Okay, yeah, that sounds fine.
All right, don't stray too far. Although, and kind of gestures to the crowd of people that are kind of gathering around you, and a bunch of people are looking up at the thing, we're going up to it and kind of poking at its ankles. He's like, I'm sure it will be terribly easy to find you. I'll be back in a few moments.
As they're poking at the ankles, I am looking very nervous.
All right. They poke, but nothing happens. It makes no further sound.
Now that Briar and I are somewhat alone, I'm going to look at her and go, well, yeah, so
you guys
this
are
is...
not alone. There's people, all around you. Coming up and, patting you guys on the back. There's a big old crowd.
I have the mind link, so I'll just tell her telepathically. It's fine. So this is the thing. As far as I know, we haven't permanently destroyed this, because the only time that's happened is when it's self-destructed about 500 feet in diameter. So this could come back to bite us.
I mean, it was dead in the water for how many years? I'm feeling all right. Let's just enjoy our moment. Don't take this from us.
Okay, I do feel like I should warn them. As much as death doesn't bother me, I wouldn't want the whole marketplace to go up in flames.
Let's leave a note.
A note. Okay, yeah, we'll just put it on one of the little mossy legs and call it a day, I guess.
We'll just be like, there's no guarantee that this thing is gone. So, stay here at your own risk.
Yeah, well, maybe we see what he comes back with, and if it's way better than people's lives, then maybe we'll just go from there.
Okay.
Whole time just smiling and waving at the crowd.
They love it. All right. Onyx and Snow, you guys are kind of in the crowd around them, and you would have probably seen a little bit of the conversation between them and the mayor. What are you guys doing?
I'm just kind of waiting and observing, watching the crowds, seeing if... just watching.
Okay.
Just keeping an eye on the two, just so they're not alone.
Keep an eye on them and the other group, Javid and.
You would not be able to see
Yeah.
Javid, so they're kind of like on the other side of buildings and like up out of town. They're too far away.
Gotcha.
But if you guys want to give me perception checks. Alright. Kind of scanning the crowd, you're able to spot people. Snow, you kind of focus in on the people that are like standing around the base of it that are like messing with it. You see like one guy like kind of pulls away like a big mat of seagrass and is like looking at the metal and kind of scratching it a little bit, and they're just like looking at it. People are starting to climb on it. You can see like a group of kids on one side are like climbing up at it, like poking at it. But other than that, the crowd's just in cautiously optimistic spirits, very excited about what's just transpired. A couple moments later, maybe about 5 minutes or so, the mayor, a couple of guards kind of come around the corner and approach you guys. He's got a small little like wooden box in his hands. He kind of approaches the base of it. He's, I see you haven't left yet on whatever your mission was originally. This is from the town of Northend for you. I think this will be well received by the nature of your heroism. And I bid you good luck. And if you ever return, I would be welcome to give you a place to stay up at my manor and see to it that you are well fed and well cared after for as long as you like.
Wow, thank you very much. That is so
Can I-
gracious of you. And I'll take the box and
Split.
yeah, I'm looking at Briar, I guess, to open together.
I guess we can open it, sure.
Inside the box, there are a few gold pieces, about 25 of them. There are 2 small gems, and then there are 2 scrolls, kind of rolled up.
I open the scrolls.
All right. One of the scrolls is a it is a letter of recommendation from the mayor of Northend, basically detailing your deeds, the skills with which you performed them, and how valuable you were, and it bears the mayor's seal of the town, and it's just this like little kind of like flourishing tree with a kind of river running behind it. The other scroll is a personal letter written to you, and it is just basically just kind of a thank you letter, and it does at the end say if you ever return, he would love to help you with anything that he can.
I think now would be the time to mention mayhaps this king could start back up again.
So we did deactivate it, but unfortunately, I don't know so much about these ancient war machines, and there is a chance that maybe there's an outside force that could reactivate it.
As soon as you say that, he like kind of gets really close to you and like claps you on the back. He's like, "All right, we'll see. Have fun outside of town." And he kind of like whispers to you. He's like, "What do you mean by activate again? Don't say that too loudly to anyone. We'll look into that. This is. I'm glad you told me, but don't tell anyone that."
I'll speak in his mind. We can speak more privately this way, or if you'd like, we can. Well, no, now's the best time. I have a place to be. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Also, I would not allow the children to play amongst that. I have known some wizards to get two into the mechanism of it and create a 500-foot crater. So unless you're wanting to have a new tourist attraction, I would possibly make sure that this remains untouched.
Okay, thank you. And then he kind of like out loud, he like gestures to one of his assistants, one of the guards, and he's like, get them down from that. We'll cordon the area off and make sure that no one except for us touches it. Thank you for this. Good luck on your travels. I hope this finds you well. And then he kind of just bye-bye, waves at you, and the people are like kind of focusing more on the Colossus, letting you guys go. Onyx and Snow, you see them kind of like wind their way out of the crowd, and then behind them you can see like a group of the guards are like, all right, back up, get down, get away from it. And they're like kind of pushing people back and starting to create like a little radius around it where no one's getting too close.
And I'm just strutting out of there.
I'm feeling a lot more morally okay, so same. Do we know the mayor's name?
Yes, he said his name was Mayor Leoben. He is a half-elf.
Hey, Liam, can you start, like, typing in names into the general chat so we can spell them right?
Sure.
Where's the fun in that?
Well, seeing as how I spelled Casimir like 6 different ways in my notes.
I have it with a C all over my notes, and then I have to remember, no, that it's actually okay.
All right. The 4 of you are kind of heading towards the northwest. As this is happening, Azrael and Javid, Casimir is kind of on your back lamenting. I really wish I could record what we've just seen, maybe take down a few sketches. I'd love to send some letters back with this information to the Institute.
There will be time for that later.
I mean, we're going to be out in the wilds. I don't have a way to get messages back from there.
She just kind of stares at him.
He's just staring at the Colossus. He's very interested in it.
What's your higher priority, Casimir? This, which is probably going to be here when we get back, or what we're going for out in the hills?
The hills, I suppose. We can keep going.
It'll be here when we get back.
Indeed.
And word will probably get to the Institute, I'm guessing. This is probably the first time one of these things has come to life in some great while, and word will get out.
Oh, indeed. In fact, I've never heard of such any of them moving in the millennia since the calamity.
Granted, if he lets us stay here for a couple of days, it does give me time to brew potions.
There's assassins and a giant colossal thing that might come back to life.
I'm just saying.
Oh, we should definitely dip.
All right. So what you guys would know as far as the value of the gemstones that he gave, they are both worth, they are 2 amethysts. And they're probably worth around 100 gold pieces to the right person.
Is that eat?
Yes, each one of them is worth around 100 gold.
We're not near our party members, right?
You 4 at this point, probably a few minutes later, have crested the hill and come to the spot overlooking the market where you can talk to the rest of them. You see Casimir and Javid and Azrael standing there, kind of like the two of them head on the swivel, and Casimir is just locked eyes with the Colossus, basically.
Before we get that way, I'm going to look at Briar and go, see, honestly, we did something, right? So surely we can keep these amethysts as like a token, because I'm cool sharing the gold, but this is quite beautiful.
This is our boon, definitely.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'll let them know we got it, and I don't necessarily want. I mean, I'll share the gold again, but this gem is mine, and I'll hand her the other one.
Oh, truly, we're the ones that put our own selves at risks here. You know, I feel like that alone.
Yeah, I mean, look at me. I've worked with dead bodies, and this is gross.
Yeah, you guys have like mud on you and stuff.
You prestidigitationists.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I'm cleaning this up as we walk.
All right. By the time you guys get to the rest of the party, you are 100% clean.
I'm gonna be like, all hail conquering heroes.
Ready
So
to
what
leave?
happened up there? How you were climbing on it and it stopped. What'd you do? What happened?
Luck. I think that it was sheer dumb luck that we managed to deactivate it. I don't know exactly what we did, but I think we did something. The mayor gave us some pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty sure he owes us a favor now, and we have a nice shiny letter of recommendation. Briar and I got some really a couple shiny rocks that we're gonna keep, and here's 25 gold for the party fund.
Okay, point of order. Who's the party treasurer?
I've been keeping track. I don't have to have that role. I've just been doing it because I don't want to lose track of it.
Okay, if you're cool with it, I was voting for you. If you're okay with it.
I'm gonna say,
fine.
out of game, she's the only one who hasn't hidden money transactions from anyone else. So of the six of us, she is the most honest. Sorry, money acquisitions.
I did not lie. I said they were shiny rocks.
Interesting. And what did you touch on it, I suppose? What did you see? I haven't been able to get close to one of those myself.
Okay, these questions can happen as we're traveling, Casimir. We can start hoofing it, and you can ask your questions as we go.
I just give him a little, a ginger pat on the shoulder. I understand his need for curiosity.
Well, since we're all together again, do you mind setting me down so I can walk myself?
Oh yeah, I've sent him down.
Okay. As you guys start walking out of town, he kind of produces a little notebook, and he starts really quickly writing in it.
Was he still shackled?
No, he's not. He was never shackled.
Oh, okay.
I was unsuccessful.
Yeah, unfortunately, you were just wasn't working out those times you were trying to grab him.
Yeah, he's smaller than what I'm used to hunting. He's a little tiny, and
That's what it was.
yeah, that's the problem. I'm used to bigger guys.
All right. I think this is a good spot. We can take a break if you guys would like. Call it. It
Sounds
is
good.
6:04. We can pick back up at 6:10. How's that sound?
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
So what's everyone doing for the holiday?
All right, everyone ready to start? We're back.
Well, Chris is gone.
Damn it, Chris. It's okay. We're gonna pick back up with you guys beginning to leave the town of North. As you are traveling, it's kind of like where you guys were on the Ashkew Path, the Stonefield tributary from Torvir Deep. Those are like roads, you know. There's the twin ruts on either side, like 4 sets of where carts and horses travel. This is like just a wide footpath, pretty much. Some people come here, you know, like bring horses. You can see as you guys are starting to travel and kind of like wind your way up into the hills, that there are, you know, the occasional house and other things. Like there's signs of civilization, a few farms. But this is like definitely starting to get away from civilization, pretty much.
So are we heading towards Eisenholt?
Yeah, you're roughly headed towards Eisenholt on the other side of the Causerain Hills. Eisenholt is much further. Eisenholt is probably 2 weeks travel from here in this direction.
And so that's where we're going though? We're going to travel the full 2 weeks?
You're not headed to Eisenholt. You're headed to a couple of points that Casimir has picked out on his map in the Causerain Hills. It's kind of between here and Eisenholt. One of them is closer towards the dwarven mining outpost of Kagarum, but that's about it.
Okay, and so how many days is that?
You guys, from what Casimir has told you, you guys are about currently 4 days from the first map location. But you guys are starting to leave Northend and now even the Windless Wood. As you guys are kind of starting to climb, the trees are getting like shorter and shorter. You know, before they were hundreds of feet high, and now they're just, you know, 100 feet high, basically. The trail kind of winds and starts to narrow a little bit. You see like a couple of forks come off, and as you guys get to them, Casimir kind of stops for a second and like is looking at his map and then points in a direction. You guys keep going. He has a little compass.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for people tailing us.
Okay.
Right. I was going to suggest one of us should hang back and look for anyone following us, and somebody should move ahead a little bit to look for ambushes.
I am gonna send Wanda ahead to check.
Okay. Can I get some perception checks from you guys, and especially one from Juan? Alright. Wanda's doing a good job of keeping an eye out. As you guys are traveling, you pass a few other travelers. Most of them headed back towards Northend. They kind of just like greet you in passing, kind of cautiously. But eventually, you guys, as you are kind of like rounding like one turn up a few more rocks, at this point it's pretty late in the day. You know, the sun is starting to dip beyond the mountains dip beyond the trees. You know, it's kind of like this orange glow along the tops of the Windless Wood. You guys can see pretty far here. It's, you know, a cloudless evening. As you guys are going, you kind of hear the tinkling of bells, and a fellow kind of comes along atop a little donkey and he kind of seeing your party. Oh, excuse me, folk. Best not be heading that way. There's goblins coming down out of the mountains these days. I don't know what it is you're headed towards, but you might want to pick a different path.
You managed to escape the goblins?
Nah, they attacked some of the other farmers up the road from me, but I'm headed into Northend to visit my cousin. I figured I'd get out of there now before things get rough. Bringing my goats with me, and he's got like 4 or 5 goats that are just behind him, like just like chewing, and their weird little goat eyes are looking at you guys. They're all on a big long road.
Thanks for the warning, friend. Safe travels.
You as well. And he kind of, tugs the reins a little bit, and then the donkey keeps going down the mountain.
Your cousin may want to move from Northend.
What? What are you talking about?
It might
I
be
don't
dangerous.
mind her. She's she has many scary thoughts. This one.
Interesting. I'll keep that in mind. And then he just kind of turns and looks at you guys kind of over his shoulder as he's riding his donkey down the mountain. Casimir kind of looks over at Azrael as you have a certain special way with people, don't you? I think.
Agreed.
Glad to see we're on the same page.
Hopefully his livestock don't spook easy.
I think as long as the Colossus doesn't move, they won't see that as anything other than just a great big rock. Funny shaped rock.
As we're traveling, I'm going to relay all the information I know about the Colossus to Casimir.
Alright. He is very interested in what you have to say, and he's like furiously like writing this stuff down in the journal that he had out earlier. He's written pages and pages and pages of it at this point. Detailing exactly what you guys did, exactly what you saw, everything you tell him. He copies it down to the letter, essentially.
And I know that he wanted to know all about like where we were, so I would like to borrow a piece of paper from him and try to do a sketch of its head.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a performance check, but use your dexterity. So if you're not proficient in performance, then it's just a dexterity check. Alright. As you guys are traveling, he kind of hands you a scrap of paper, and you're able to draw a pretty good portrait of the creature. It kind of just looks like this great big droopy, like, swamp thing, basically, is probably the best way to describe it, just because of the way that the plant matter had grown all over. You include a little bit of yourself down in the corner and kind of, show up to scale, basically. Like, this is how big I was next to it. You're just like this little stick figure near its ankle, basically.
I'll turn it to Briar. This is about right? Like, am I missing anything?
Yes. Can I attempt to draw too?
Sure, give me a performance check with dexterity if you would like.
Okay, let's see.
I'm leaning over her shoulder, trying to look what she's trying to add.
Alright, you were able to add, you can draw pretty well. whatever you'd like to add.
Okay. I'm gonna add his cool giant square eyeballs. And I don't know, like the mossy bits that were uncovered and like how shiny the metal was. Like little sparkles where the shiny metal is, you know?
All right, you beautify it for sure. It looks really good.
Alright.
Oh yeah, significantly better. Way more accurate.
Interesting. And as you guys are drawing, Casimir's kind of like, what is this bit here you've drawn? And very curious. He's like, oh, interesting. And he's writing down a little bit more about it.
While that's going on, I'd like to move out ahead and scout to look for signs of goblins and goblins ambush and attack, and I will do so with the utmost of quietness and using all my best woodcraft.
Okay. You're trying to be stealthy and perceptive, so if you want to give me a stealth check and a perception check, go for it. All right. As you are traveling out ahead, it's, you're quiet and stealthy, but just the way that you have to move, it's dark. You can see well enough. I believe your dark vision it's not, you don't notice anything in particular. It's a pretty quiet trail. You spot a few birds flying overhead. The stars begin to appear as it is nighttime. The twin moons of Exandria appear overhead. It's a dim light, but you can see well enough in the gray of your vision. You note, in particular, an owl that you identify to be Wanda, flying overhead back towards the rest of the party.
Can I ask what Wanda looks like? I'm just curious. Like, does it look like a normal owl, or does it look like is there something particular about it that notes it as like a familiar?
So I would say that she looks probably like any normal owl in the area, but you would notice that her eyes are probably more sunken in, like maybe as if she had been dead for a day. Just a little off. It's not something that I think everyone would notice. They would just probably think she looks sick.
That's really creepy.
It fits.
I find her cute.
And someone attuned to nature, Javid finds Wanda to be on the other side of the uncanny valley.
Wanda is definitely on the other side of the uncanny. Demetari. Suddenly, Wanda communicates to you that there appear to be goblins in the hills ahead, some ways off.
Can she see how many?
She counted 5, but that they were hidden amongst the rocks.
I'm going to let the party know. We've got 5 goblins hidden up ahead. Quite a far ways off from what Wanda's told me.
Would it be within 100? No, because you can't see
No,
the horizon.
Wanda had to come back to tell you. That's how far ahead it was.
Okay, how far?
Quarter mile, roughly. So plenty of advance warning.
Does it look like there may be like a way that we can go around the path? Like rather than like walking straight into their ambush, can we like maybe go around?
Go ahead and give me a survival check. It's pretty steep to your right or left. You guys are kind of like snaking your way up into the mountains proper now.
I cracked my neck. Well, it's been a minute, but we could be in for a good fight.
What do you mean a minute? It's been like 8 hours.
So at least a minute.
Maybe we should find somewhere, maybe a cave or something off to the side, and check it out thoroughly, and just wait the night. You know, it is dark, as Casimir is just gesturing up at the moon.
And get ambushed in the night?
Well, I mean, you keep on watching and whatnot.
You're taking a watch too, right?
I assume that someone has gone forward to alert Javid, who's out ahead and not within earshot.
I mean, yes.
Sure.
I'll go get him.
Don't start anything.
I
I'm watching
won't.
you.
I run off to find Javid.
Alright. Casimir is just kind of... I mean, either we fight them now in the dark or we fight them later. I don't know that it's... I would rather try to hide and just avoid them for now, and possibly tomorrow we could find a way to sneak past them during the daylight.
I can see. Good.
Oh, thanks. I was gonna ask, like, just common knowledge, what would goblins respect? Like, would it be like a hobgoblin, like out of like other creatures?
Yeah. I mean, they're goblins. They respect power and whatnot. Anything that they think is directly much stronger than themselves, then they will probably try to avoid. But that they can be pretty aggressive, especially in large numbers.
Well, there isn't another option. I could possibly disguise myself as an hobgoblin or something. Tie you guys up as my prisoners, and we try to intimidate our way through them.
That's an excellent idea. I like that one, of course.
That sounds like a very interesting idea, and I'd like to see how that goes.
It could also be hobgoblin.
At this point, Javid and Onyx come kind of like jogging back up to the rest of the party.
So it is gonna take me an hour to look that way, so that's the only thing, but otherwise I think we might be able to pull this off.
What if we waited the night and do that first thing in the morning?
I don't think we should sleep with goblins.
Not everyone has dark vision.
We have light sources.
Right, which might attract bugs. You know how that does.
I'd rather not be attacked during the night.
How many were there? 5?
Yes, 5.
So you want to take the fight to them?
I would
don't
rather be the
Equally.
element of surprise versus them.
Yeah.
Where there's 5 goblins, there's often more, right?
Why don't you try to send Wanda to harry them to see if you can't flush them out?
Well, we should definitely get ready for that, but that could be the way we initiate action with them. But
Well, I'm saying if they just had a creepy owl come and just pester them, they might just leave.
Yeah. Agreed.
Or they'll have her as a meal.
They eat that, looks like they're gonna get sick and die anyway.
Yeah, she don't exactly look like a snack.
what I understand, goblins are not terribly particular.
We could try. See what happens.
Certainly try and see what happens. You said Wanda spotted them a quarter mile up.
Yep.
We should try to flank them and hit them from 2 fronts.
Mm-hmm. That's an idea.
How do we get around?
Sneakily.
There's no path.
That you have found. It's kind of dark and it was tough to see.
Just move slowly and quietly through the brush.
Still stand by the hobgoblin thing.
Do you speak hobgoblin?
No, I do not.
Wouldn't that be odd?
She could tie a bandana around her throat like the hobgoblin got its throat cut and now it's mute, and you gesture in sign language.
And goblins are pretty stupid, so would they really be able to tell if I'm speaking out loud or in their head?
How many can you do that to at one time, or is it just any number within a distance?
I think it's one creature, doesn't specify, but I would assume that I would.
Well, that covers one of them. What about the other 4 that aren't hearing you speak?
Okay, yep, you lost me. Could be anything other than a hobgoblin that
It's going to be a fight
doesn't
anyway you
communicate
cut
well.
this. So,
Alright. I mean, I just feel like you could try to avoid it, and then worst case scenario, you guys aren't actually tied up and we break free and start fighting.
I'm fine with not fighting. There just might be other distractions, such as Wanda. Or if we find a path. I have not.
you're the one advocating for doing something now. We might as well wait till morning to find the path.
And be attacked during the night by goblins.
Potentially.
If we
They might
light a
not know we're
fire.
here.
As long as we don't announce our presence, don't light a fire, don't do anything noisy, just bed down for the night, wait for morning.
I grew up near a goblin trading area. Would I know enough goblin to speak to them?
Do you speak goblin?
Well, not necessarily. Let me see.
She knows a lot of good swear words.
Yeah, you probably know a bunch of goblin swear words.
Does she think she knows Goblin?
I'm pretty confident in myself.
Yeah, you feel like you know enough Goblin. It's like you went to the Goblin marketplace and listened to goblins speak Goblin, basically.
Yeah, we were there pretty often.
So you could say, how much is this onion?
You could say, I know a guy, that kind of thing.
All right. Let's go ahead and try the hobgoblin thing. See how that goes. It'll take an hour for the ritual. I take it, and we can lay low, quiet for that amount of time, and then try to make our way past the ambush.
What spell are you casting?
It was disguise self.
How does it take an hour? Are you casting it as a ritual, or?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Yeah, it just lasts an hour. My bad.
Okay. Yeah, so you can just wave your hand in the air and become the new thing.
Are you taking the spell slot or are you ritual casting it?
I don't think I
You
can
can't ritual cast it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
the
why
only
I was
thing I can
confused.
cast is find familiar.
Okay, so are you turning yourself into a hobgoblin?
I'm not too sure what my knowledge is on, because I know my actual D&D knowledge is pretty low, so I could potentially avoid the communication thing by turning into something intimidating that also probably would not have a language shared with goblins.
Can I don't know what experience I have of goblins, but can I find out what goblins are is there a creature that disguise self, because I do have disguise self, so I would know that I can turn into, which is like a creature that goblins would be scared of based off of my knowledge of goblins, which I don't know is somewhat generic, because I've been out in the world, so I have probably fought goblins before. Do I know what they're scared of?
Probably scared of dragons.
Well, what are they scared of that's a creature?
Give me an intimidation check with intelligence.
-1, because my intelligence is only +1, not +2. So that'd be 18.
You would know that. Goblins are just generally afraid of much larger creatures, so a dragon would be scary to them. Giants would be scary to them. Ogres are scary to them. Hobgoblins, in the right scenario that they can respect and they know is a scary creature, then they'll be scared of it.
So let's see. So disguise self will make you only a foot taller at most. So I am 5'7", so that's 6'7", and Demetari, how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
So you're 5'10", so 6'10" would be the tallest. Would an ogre be about that short?
That would be a very small ogre.
What about a dragonborn?
Not off the rip, probably not. They would. Yeah, definitely. That would be questionable.
Well, don't hobgoblins do a lot of yelling anyway? We could just scream.
Yeah, I guess I can't think of another creature that we could actually turn into other than a hobgoblin. But I don't know if they would be scared of it.
Good point. We don't actually have to be the creature. We could just sound like the creature and scare them off.
Well, it's not that hard to be the creature.
And we could have you, Briar, close by, kind of whispering goblin to us, and, we'll see how it goes.
Oh, can you teach us Can you teach us goblin?
Yes, and I'm going to teach them all of the phrases I know, which is like 12. They all have to do with like, that's too much.
You're overcharging me.
You're overcharging me.
I'm gonna.
You gotta be
stab
kidding
you.
me.
Yeah. That they say
like
that
Hey,
one a
if we
lot.
say at least one of those. Okay, well,
Also,
hey,
which
that
way are
works.
latrines?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I gotta go take a leak, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we all agreed that we'll kind of loosely tie you to make it look pretty convincing.
Yeah, it's gonna end in a fight, so I'll get what I want anyway.
I can't turn one person invisible.
That should probably be Javid.
Oh, I would say the one that would look the least likely of us capturing them would either be you or Snow.
Well,
right?
Snow can
And
climb.
there's also Causerain.
I was about to say, what about our patron?
Oh, Fluffy.
Casimir should be invisible. I can be pretty sneaky when I want to be, so it might be easier for me to sneak off and flank around for when this does turn into a fight. At least we don't have all of our cards.
Even if it is steep, you got them delicate limbs that'll allow you to get up them rocks.
Delicate, huh?
Delicate.
Okay, so Onyx is going to be invisible, Demetari and Azrael are going to be hobgoblins, and everybody else is going to be tied up. Not actually tied up, but to look tied up.
Okay.
And considering we don't all have dark vision, would it be reasonable we have one of the prisoners hold a torch?
I would say one of you two holds the torch.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
'cause the hands
hobgoblins
are
had
bound.
dark vision.
I mean, just because you have dark vision doesn't mean that you wouldn't want light. Dark vision is kind of like grayed and muted, where light you could actually see colors, so.
You also don't
Alright.
want it to look like you're being suspicious, so if you're being very overt about things, it might take it at face value.
Fair enough. Alright, I'll hold the torch. That way, you've got a hand on your weapon, just in case.
All right. Go ahead and give me some performance checks. I'd like them from everybody, and then we'll do perception checks.
Who's not good at performance? Is someone like really bad at performance?
-1.
Well, I wasn't planning on being a prisoner. I'm planning on being off in the shadows of the trees with my bow ready.
Okay.
Good choice. That would be my preference as well.
You're invisible, Onyx.
Okay, I'm casting mage armor on myself before she turns me invisible.
Because I can give guidance to somebody who like really sucks at performance, like has a negative modifier.
It just says 0 here.
Do you have so who's performing?
You and I've got a +1. Briar would be +0. If you didn't turn Casimir invisible, then he would also be performing.
Is Casimir really charismatic?
Well, let me make sure.
Based on his performance at the tavern,
He is
getting
not
us to go
charismatic.
drinking.
He's above average, but it's not anything to write home about.
Well, that's better than me and Briar.
He does have a bonus to his performance.
I'm gonna cast guidance on Briar, so she has advantage on her performance check.
Okay, so what checks are we all rolling?
Oh shit, that's concentration, so I can't do that. I'm sorry. I have to concentrate on the invisibility. So, sorry, I can't do that. I apologize.
That's fine.
So those of us as part of the ruse will be doing performance, and then everyone will be doing perception.
Wouldn't it be stealth?
Anyone keeping an eye out, trying to spot the Gerblins, give me a perception check.
Okay. Mine's probably at disadvantage because I can't see in the dark. And then also performance. Boop.
Wanda will be checking for sure.
Azrael, I'd just like to remind you, I don't know, but you have inspiration, yeah?
Oh, you're right, I do. I already rolled though. But can I take
I'll just
advantage
use it,
on
like,
the
later.
performance check?
Sure, go ahead and roll again.
Better-ish. Thank you.
All right, so just so I'm clear, Azrael is invisible. You're casting.
No, Onyx is invisible.
Oh.
I'm a hobgoblin.
That's right. Onyx, you have advantage on stealth. Oh, you already rolled with it. A 10. Okay.
I'm trying to hang like 15 or so feet back from the line of people that are going.
All right.
I want to try something. I want to see if I can move out ahead and give a bird whistle to alert people when we come right up on the ambush site. And I didn't hear. Snow, what are you doing?
Going off into the trees to get a flanking position with my bow.
There are not trees.
Anything I can hide in? Boulder to boulder if need be. Because are we in the hills now?
Yes, you're kind of up in the mountains. There's not trees here. You can hide behind boulders. You're kind of like entering like little like narrow ridges where there's like a jagged cliff off to your left, and you kind of wide between it and like the peaks growing up to your right.
But yeah, so we're kind of in like the foothills of the Causerain Hills.
Yeah.
Ah, perfect. My home turf.
All right. Those of you without dark vision, are you using lights?
Yeah, I'm carrying a torch.
Okay.
Just a prisoner, so eh. That's why I'm saying it. Mine's probably at disadvantage. Do you want me to re-roll it at disadvantage?
Well, you would be with us, so you would have the light.
Oh, okay.
So it is Azriel and Demetari disguised as hobgoblins. And then
Yep.
you have Casimir and Briar with you as prisoners.
Yep.
And then behind you guys, it is Onyx, Invisible, and is Snow back there as well.
Snow will be flanking off to whatever direction.
It's a pretty narrow path that you guys are on.
Oh, I don't think I'd be on the path.
Okay, give me an athletics check to try to not be on the path. All right.
Question: is somebody holding my axe?
Yeah, I actually was gonna ask you if I could, so that my weapon matched my person.
Yeah, go for
And
it.
if anything happens, I will reaction that back to you.
Okay.
Okay. With you guys in formation, Javid, you approach, and this is what you guys. About 50 or so feet in front of you, you kind of like round a corner and like dart across some rocks, Javid, and you see a group of 4 goblins who are kind of standing around a little campfire, pretty much directly, mostly in the middle of the path. It's like at this sheltered spot from the wind, basically. They're all just kind of like huddled around, sitting there. It's this little campfire kind of illuminating this. I can hear their voices kind of echoing through the pathway, like along off the rock. They're speaking Goblin to each other.
I will hide myself behind a rock and make the bird call signal that I said I would make when I saw them.
Yes. All right. The rest of you, kind of like Javid's a little ways in front of you, but not so far that you can't kind of make him out. You guys pause. What are you guys doing? Snow, you guys are, I'll say, Snow, you are on top of some rocks kind of overlooking this. And you can see kind of the light from the 4 goblins, and then around the corner of the rocks, you can see the light from your party where they are.
I mean, our goal is to get through, right? So we'll just keep walking with the utmost confidence that we own this path and that we'll just walk right through.
Where's Casimir in this?
He's with us. He's the prisoner next to you.
Okay.
I'm a little far back. I'm staying about 10 feet behind him.
Okay. All right. Are you guys going to pass where Javid is and just walk to the goblins?
Yeah.
All right.
I have my Bow ready, arrow knock.
You guys round the corner, and Javid and Snow, you guys are kind of like watching the group of goblins. You note specifically that the four of them kind of like the light kind of flickers across the rocks from your party, and they do notice. They stop talking for a moment. Your party gets a little closer, and once they're about 30 or so feet away, you suddenly hear a shout, first in Goblin, and then in Common. All right, that's enough. That's stop. Right there. That's it. Stop where you're going.
Can I try to repeat the goblin phrase that Briar taught me? The, like, I'll stab you or something like that?
Go ahead and give me a performance check at disadvantage.
And as she's doing that, I am bearing my axe, and I'm going to basically try to growl as best I can. Look very menacing.
Okay. Also give me a performance check, but that's just a straight. Alright. You kind of growling and Azrael, as the hobgoblin, you kind of say a few words that you vaguely remember that Briar taught you in Goblin. And the four of them are all kind of like confused, and they look at each other and then back at you. And you can see that they are drawing short swords, and like one of them has like a bow that he's picking. They're like, all right, I mean it now. That's stop right there. This is our path. Nobody gets to pass.
You will
I'm
let
gonna
us
drop.
Go ahead.
Nope, you're good.
I'm just gonna say in common, you will let us through or you will become prisoners.
No, you're gonna be our prisoners. If you don't turn back and go back the way you came.
Keep
You
into the
should
rock.
learn. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, keep into the rocks. I'm gonna start moving around now that I hear it's getting hostile.
Okay.
We have more of our kind coming. Are you sure you want to do that? In common.
Give me a performance check or a deception check.
Damn.
One of them, the three of them are like not dissuaded at all, but one of them is kind of. You heard what she said. There's more of them back there. We can't even go home. What are we supposed to do? Fight more people in front of us? We should just let them go. Maybe they'll take care of the ogres.
We will take care of the ogres.
We're not chickens like you. Or cowards, there we go. Cowards like you.
The goblins are kind of. They kind of look to one of them, and he's like a little bit bigger than the other. You can see that he's actually like wearing chainmail. The other ones just have like leather armor. And alright, you wait right there. We're gonna talk about this. Don't move. And the four goblins kind of like turn. One of them's like watching you guys, but they're all in like a little huddle. Can I get you to give me a persuasion check?
I'm gonna lean over to Azrael and say, "This is about to be loud, but I'm about to get it done."
No.
Alright. No. And I kind of whisper that. No. But Demetari, you should roll it.
Bad kitty. Bad.
Persuasion, you said?
And I'll give you guys advantage.
Dang, what is going on?
The dice are against us.
Apparently.
Do I still have sheep meat? Like, did I give all of that to Briar?
She cooked it all up, I think.
Yeah, I think she cooked it. You guys ate all of it.
Okay, that was like 3 pounds worth.
Maybe
We were very
she has a
hungry.
little bit more. She probably maybe didn't eat that much. The goblins are kind of like huddled. You can hear them like whispering to each other in goblin to each other, like just kind of chittering at each other. And then the lead goblin turns back and gestures. He like pushes the other one kind of to the side, and they're like, "You can go."
Smart choice.
They're eyeing you very suspiciously. The goblins just kind of let you guys pass.
Come along, you two, as I kind of pull a little bit on the rope, I guess.
Alright. Casimir is just like, eyes like, kind of looking around like very wide-eyed at all of them.
Yeah,
I
guess
struggle
we
a
just
little bit, but not a lot. I don't want to
we
overdo
just
it.
walk past.
Yep, they let you guys walk past. Javid and Snow. So, Onyx, you'd be able to walk with the rest of them, but what are you two doing since you're kind of awkwardly hemmed in on the cliffs above?
Well, from where I'm standing, these all look pretty much on the same level, so I'm going to very carefully shuffle my way above them.
Alright. What was your stealth check, Snow?
19.
Okay. Alright. As you're like crossing over, you suddenly spot on the overlook there are 3 goblins who are sitting there who are just kind of like poking their little heads over, looking down into the chasm. They pay you no mind, and you're able to just sneak behind them and continue on.
As I
we
do so, I'm
pass-
going to keep an eye out to make sure that they don't notice Javid either.
Okay.
As we pass, can I make sure they're not like making a move to attack us from behind?
Okay. I mean, just as you walk past, you can see that they're like, looking back at them. They're just kind of watching you guys cautiously, and then as you get a little bit further away, they sit down at their little campfire. Javid, you're just kind of like following along behind, trying to stay out of sight of the goblin.
You know what? It doesn't look like there's room to follow the trail in a hidden fashion. So I will break cover, walk along, arrow knock to let them know I'm ready. And as I come up to them, I'll say, "Good choice on your part," and I'll call back to the rest of the troop that's behind us. It's all right, guys. We got it from here.
Give me a deception check. I'll say you can roll with advantage because they already.
DM, just as a point of order, as we walk by, I'm gonna stop like right on the outside of their camp, just waiting on the other 2 to make sure they get through.
They do get past. Javid comes up and you see him with his bow drawn. Talks to the goblins. And the goblins are like, "You weren't kidding. There's more of them." And they kind of like whisper to each other, and they're a little bit kind of frightened almost. And they just kind of like watch you guys very cautiously. They all have their like weapons out still, but you guys are able to get past and keep going.
As soon as we get far enough beyond them that we're well out of sight and earshot, that worked out much better than anyone had any right to expect. Well done.
You guys did roll pretty good on your deceptions, your performance checks, some athletics from.
Very shakily, I'm going to say, see, I told you that would work.
Should we talk about this ogre situation?
Yes, I'm terribly curious about that one. Ogres are a bit more dangerous than goblins.
Yes, they are. And this might be the point at which we discuss finding a nook in the rocks to bed for the night, so we'll all be fresh and ready to.
How much longer can we go without a long rest? Or before we start taking, like, exhaustion?
I think it's, what is it, 16 hours of travel. You guys
Yeah.
have only been traveling for, I'll say, about 11 hours. So you could travel well into the night. You could get, another couple miles probably.
I got adrenaline pumping from all that, so yeah, I'm ready to keep going.
Yeah, this is not a safe place.
I will add to that. I hired you because this is not a safe place. You all should be expecting good money when we return safe and sound and with my mission completed.
Well, we will continue to act in a way that returns us safe and sound.
Speaking of which, what is the payment that we're guaranteed upon your safe return?
I believe it was the standard going rate for fortune hunters. Something like 5 gold pieces per day. And then there's additional expenses to be paid for anything unexpected or injury or other such liabilities like that.
So what that first night in the tavern tack on?
Were you injured? I think that's a discussion with you. We've paid an upfront value of 5,000 gold pieces to the fortune hunters, but they will give you your cut upon your return.
I just slowly look at Javid, who didn't tell me anything about that.
It was in your contract. Should have read it.
I can't read.
We signed a contract?
It's more
We're working for the fortune hunters?
verbal understanding. Yes, you're working for the fortune hunters. I did explain that. But perhaps we work out any complaints or reconsiderations after we're out of danger. There may be ogres ahead, and standing around talking about payment does us nothing if ogres kill us all.
I too would like to revisit the ogre thing.
Let's slip past, then make camp.
Alright. You continue on ahead.
What's Wanda seeing?
Where's Wanda's scouting?
She's still scouting ahead.
Okay. Wanda does not report back with anything immediately. Wanda's too far away to communicate with you directly.
And I assume we're taking our points as before, with Wanda well out ahead, Javid in the lead and in the van, and then Is it Snow watching behind?
Kind of like flanked off to the side.
Yeah, I'm in the back of the group, just keeping an eye out behind us.
Before we split the party again, I'd like to let the party members know that just in case anyone likes to scout further ahead and we run into this problem again, that I've told Wanda that if something comes up, that she needs to land on you to basically let you know that you need to rejoin the party. Take that information with what you will,
Okay.
but that at least would help.
All right. Can I get perception checks from you?
No.
All right. You don't see anything.
You're right.
So I'm probably not going to drop Onyx's invisibility until the hour is up, just because I don't see any reason to do so, given that I did use the spell and I can only use it once a day, so I might as well get the most out of it.
Briar, I'm giving your axe back to you.
Did you see my perception roll? Did it pop up?
Thank you.
Nope.
Something's going on with my D&D Beyond.
I saw it. It's in the game log. I don't know why it's not.
Virtual tabletop not found.
Huh. Did you enact the, like, is your little D&D Beyond plugin, is that red?
It was.
You should click it. It might help.
All right. You guys continue on for a few more hours until you guys feel safe. The night has drawn long. You feel fairly tired at this point, but you feel like you're a safe distance from the goblins. You're scouting ahead. Eventually, as you guys decide to stop, Wanda kind of like grabs Javid, brings him back into the group. You guys find yourselves on like this like kind of like rocky cliff spot where there's this like shallow depression which leads into a small covered cave. As far as you guys noticed, the goblins did not follow you, and you have identified no other threats on the mountainside.
Sleep.
I want to check out the cave, make sure we're not sharing it with a cave bear or anything like that.
Okay, give me an investigation. The cave is empty and otherwise unoccupied and contains, it's relatively dry and contains no other things, no hidden things that you identify. Casimir kind of yawns and, oh, well, I'm terribly ready. Has anyone got anything for dinner? I could use a light snacking or something. I'm sure if we're in a cave, we can start a fire. I mean, the goblins already know we're here. It's not like we need to be extra stealthy.
Right, let's do this.
Yes.
Let's use the rations we've brought along and not start a fire. I'd hate for the smoke to alert anyone we haven't identified, such as ogres or trolls or what have you.
But I got about 2 pounds of sheep meat that's about to go bad.
Yes, I'm very interested in the sheep meat.
Mutton is just, it'd be a shame.
Oh yes, I'm terribly interested in that.
So, home cooked meal? Eh?
Yes.
That's one vote here.
Yep.
Alright. So, I'm gonna go ahead and make it.
All right.
While Briar's cooking, Azrael is doing her nightly weapon inventory and cleaning. So she rolls out all of her knives and her size. She goes through and inventories them, cleans them and sharpens them, and then puts them back in her backpack in a very like methodical path.
All right.
What's the weather like?
Clear skies, cold breeze, fall. Just outside of the cave, you guys are able to find there's a few like small shrubs and other things that you can collect to create a fire with. There's no trees, obviously. You're a little bit above the tree line. You guys can like look out over the like illumination for the moon and see just like the sea of tree tops from the windless wood.
Right. David's going to go out, find a spot where he can hide, keep an eye on the path and the entrance to the cave, and sort of set up
Okay.
a
Go ahead and
watch.
give me a stealth and perception check. What are the rest of you guys doing? So Briar is setting up food, I believe.
I'm walking outside the cave, off into like outside, just outside, like around a corner where I feel like I'm not gonna be bothered for a minute. And I'm gonna do my squat, and I'm gonna pull out my book and start thumbing through it. Still not truly understand what I'm reading, and get really emotionally worked up because it's the day after a storm. Like, to the point I'm probably gonna like not come back for a very long time.
All right.
I'm going to have Casimir start teaching me how to draw these maps.
Okay. Well, while you guys are kind of watching as Briar begins, like she sets up the fire and starts cooking the mutton, Casimir kind of produces some of the parchment paper and he starts like sketching, and he is using these like straight edges and a few other things and kind of like measuring on it. And he begins to describe to you how you like can tell how far you've gone and like relative measurements and distances from stuff. And he's got his compass out and is like helping figure out north. He points to you how he like sketched out on while you were traveling on the map. He would like pre-mark map positions so that it was easier for him to kind of sketch later. And he's like kind of drawn the twisting path that you guys took from Northend up into the hills. It's more of an art than it is anything else. I certainly appreciate being able to teach you. I actually really only learned cartography as a skill so that I could read maps better. It gives me a perspective on what the creator was thinking when they drew them, because I spent so much of my time researching maps.
Yeah, I agree. I think it might be a very useful tool as I continue to adventure. And as you can tell, I think the art thing might be right up my sleeve. And I don't know if he's got the Colossus out or nearby, but I'm going to gesture towards that if it is.
Yeah, you can see his little notebook where the Colossus drawing was. Much appreciated for that, by the way. It's, well, I can't wait to show some of the other scholars back at the Institute.
As he's drawing, I would like to be like by like his side, basically, and like copying what he's doing, trying my best anyway to like copy the map on my own parchment.
All right. Go ahead and give me a. Call this maybe survival with an intelligence check. So, intelligence modifier, survival bonus. If you're not proficient in survival, that's just an intelligence check. All right, you draw something close to what he creates, but you're doing it for the first time, and it is a map, but it's you can tell kind of looking at it by yourself, you're like, this is an okay first time map, but then you kind of compare it to him, and you can see that some of this the scale's distorted, and some of the things that he's drawn are a little bit closer together than yours, and otherwise it just kind of looks a little wonky. But you draw a map, and it works, and you definitely could use this map to travel by.
It does seem to be missing something, huh, Casimir?
Practice. I think that's the biggest thing, is definitely practice. I've many hours drafting maps in the Institute, so, you'll get there. We'll do this more.
I think it needs color, and I take out my small knife, and I prick the palm of my hand a bit, and I take the quill, dab a little bit, and start adding a little bit of red into the map.
Not quite what I would have had in mind, but if that looks better to you, then excellent.
Most definitely better.
All right. Did Javid just leave? Because I was literally about to do something with him.
Yeah, he's no longer in the Discord.
All right. So, Briar, you kind of finish at this point. It's been about an hour or so into starting the long rest. You've finished the mutton.
All right, it's like a good braised mutton, And I've gone around and I've collected whatever kind of little vegetables I can from the surrounding area and put it all together. It's a nice little stew.
Peppers.
Oh, yeah. Can I get them peppers?
Yeah, I'm gonna, I guess prestidigitate my hand afterwards.
Yeah.
And and then request for the husks back, take the seeds, but I want to keep them to dry later.
I could probably prepare them.
Oh yeah, you know much better. So I'll just let her know what the shopkeep told me, and basically you want the outer part to be dry before we grind them.
Okay, I will use them very sparingly.
All right, they're hot, very hot.
Okay.
So yeah, you now have 4 of those.
Okay.
You spice the meal, and Casimir takes a bite, and he's like, he's kind of dying.
Oh yeah, you'll get used to it. It's fine.
Very good.
All right.
You're welcome, Craw. I had you in mind.
Javid. As you are kind of keeping watch over the moonlit kind of cliffside, looking down the few hundred feet to the tops of the trees below, you suddenly notice off to your left, you hear the kind of scrambling of rock, and a little goblin kind of pulls himself up over the top of it and rolls onto his back and just muttering to himself in goblin, kind of catching his breath. And he left again. Great. He needs to fix his internet. What are the rest of you guys doing in the camera?
Well, after I finish my weapon inventory maintenance and cleaning, I will take part in the stew, which is very delicious. I eat all of it and look for leftovers.
Casimir kind of finishes, and this is a very, very good meal, Briar. I thank you very much for it, and I will bid you all good night. And he kind of puts on this little knit cap and pulls it down over his eyes, tosses out a little bedroll, and just rolls over and goes to sleep. Javid, are you back? Doesn't sound like.
Sorry, Discord crashed on me. You said Javid keeping watch. Here's noise off something. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Your internet is not good. The connection is very bad.
My check.
We hear you, but it's like
Yeah. Discord crashed
it is. I
a
don't.
couple of times on me.
Try turning your video off. See if that helps.
Yeah, just turn your video off. That does not look like it helped it. All right. For the rest of you, can I get... What order are you guys going to keep watch for the rest of the night?
I can take first watch.
Okay.
Always like first watch.
I'll do second.
I'll do second as well.
I'm not in the cave.
Gotcha.
Onyx is off being emotional.
Onyx, what are you doing outside of the cave? You know...
Crying.
Crying. Trying to read.
It is dark. It is difficult to read.
I do have dark vision, but I also don't have an intelligence that allows me to read, so I'm trying to figure out what the hell this book means and lamenting over what I missed.
I just picture you're like Adam Sandler in 50 First Dates crying because he can't read the menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only -1. That's not like illiterate and unintelligent. That's like, you're below average American.
10 is able to read.
Yeah.
I have an 8.
So your opinion.
But it's not because I can't read. That's not why I'm upset. But yeah, I'm basically just like tucked off in the rocks, like outside the cave, far enough to where I don't think people will come bother me.
Okay.
Keeping my ears peeled for anybody trying to come find me, but not for like watching out anything.
You said Javid hears something?
All right. Are you ready to do things?
Could be. Can you hear me?
Yes. I mean, we could hear you earlier, but your internet was so bad that we may as well not have. All right.
All right. Well, turned off some things.
Yeah. You... Javid are able to see as you're kind of keeping watch on the cave opening. You watched as Onyx kind of like went off to the right outside of the cave, but a goblin kind of like scrambles over some rocks to your left and just like and was like muttering to himself in goblin, like catching his breath, and then he comes like gets up a little bit and starts like shuffling over to the rocks, pretty much over by where you are, to look down at the cave opening.
Um, I'll say, you're breathing hard, brother. Is it a tough one?
Yeah, lots of climbing that I didn't expect to do. Who's there? Wait, you're right there. What's going on? You're one of those
Oh,
guys.
yeah. You one of those guys?
Yeah, I was told to
Right.
follow you.
Good, good. You found us. Um, now, now what's your plan?
Follow you tomorrow and see where you guys end up.
All right. Well, I can tell you we're going to keep going along the trail. If you know anything about uh, things we might find that would be unpleasant, like ogres or others of your kind who mean us harm, that would be nice to know ahead of time. Um,
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
I'll offer him a bite of my rations.
All right, you can do it at advantage.
I can see that the Beyond 20 did a thing, but the roll is not showing up. It was a 10.
All right. He kind of like cautiously takes the little bit of ration and kind of eats it. Well, Grolic just wanted to know if you guys run into their golem or the ogres, and wanted to know if you guys were going to do anything about it. And basically, just I don't know. We come from some. We come from a mine operation. We live in a mine up in the mountains, and there's ogres there now, and some other stuff in there too. And we had to run away, so now we're trying to figure out where to go.
Well, we may try to go down into those mines. There's treasure here. Do you know anything about treasure in the mines?
We kept some stuff. There's some stuff from before it was ours. I don't know about
Well, we
treasure.
don't want your stuff. We're talking about ancient stuff, cities from before the calamity. You goblins teach about the calamity, right? That's part of your lore, isn't it?
I have never heard about what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like 800 or so years ago, which your lore may not go back that far. There was great great battles, and the earth was torn up, and the civilizations from that time were destroyed. And we can find some stuff from that. So we're not interested in gold or gems. Is that your clan is interested in? We're looking for old artifacts. What is the name of your clan, by the way?
I mean, we're Grolic's clan. Anyway, I'm gonna go, alright? And he just kind of like starts like crawling away, basically, back the way he came.
So I'll watch him go. Keep an eye on, and then see if I can get Wanda's attention with 3 short owl hoots.
Alright. Wanda's sitting on some rocks above, and little owl head like zooms in on you, like little sunken, creepy eyes are looking right at you.
Mm-hmm. So I'll make gestures to Wanda. Are we within 100 feet of the cave? And
Wanda is within 100 feet intentionally.
Right. Okay. So I will gesture to the goblin who's clambering over the rocks and say, pass this along to the people in the cave. The goblins are interested in where we're going.
Yeah, I got a dip in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're about to stop. We'll pick up here a bit, I think, with the next morning, and you guys kind of traveling along.
Okay.
Wanda relays to you, Demetari, that Javid ran into a goblin, and you're able to look through Wanda's eyes, so you hear what he said.
I'm assuming everyone's asleep right now, though, right?
I think Casimir is. I don't know about the rest of it.
I'm asleep.
For first watch, I'm still awake.
Yeah, I think I was taking first watch. I'd be awake.
Okay.
Okay, so those that are awake, I'll let know. We'll worry about this in the morning, but it might benefit if we have someone following us to remain as hobgoblins.
Can only for an hour.
You guys are not hobgoblins anymore. It has been well over an hour.
Right, but the goblin hasn't seen us. He's only seen Javid.
Correct.
Yeah, so I would say we get him far enough along to where we can convince him that it's more trouble to let his friends know what we really are. And if he decides that it would be a good idea to tell them, then he's alone.
Okay.
All right. And I think with that, you guys take your watches, spend your time sleeping and enjoying your evening, your rest finally. And with that, we will pick up next week. Would you... I guess I'll go ahead and ask, are you guys going to want to watch next... Or not to watch, to play next Sunday?
I should be good to play.
Yeah, well, we'll be driving back in the morning, but we should be here in time to play.
Yeah, drop
I'll be back
off
in time.
Denver, but
Chris's grandma's gonna be in town, so I'm not sure yet.
Gotcha.
I know we would be free.
have our first guest player, Chris's grandma.
Scramble. That would be beautiful. She's like Alabama. Country.
All right. Well, it has been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the session, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.
Ah.
All right.
Later, y'all.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.
I know.